Yo, peace. All powers to oppressed people. African power to an African people, and black power to your brother Yang and Kruma. Coming to you. Yeah, brother Che, man, I'm going live. If you have the opportunity, jump on board. Man, it's your man coming to you today. Want to rap to you. I know this is an odd time, especially after a pretty good debate between Suave and Strapped on Solar Vision Debate League. Shout out Solar Division Debate League. Shout out Commissioner Solar Mind. I can't wait to the post debate show. It's going to be interesting to see. Listen, I just thought the judgments and or whether the scoring rather was interesting. So it's going to be I think it's going to be interesting to see the post debate show. Look for that. But what we're talking about today, man, we're talking about black nationalism. We're talking about the black African here in America, the black person born in the Americas, in North America, right here, and our relationship with, and if you will notice, I have in parentheses the word foreign, but our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora, our relationship with them, and when I say relationship, I'm talking about in every facet. If you shop a foreign, or if you just subscribe maybe to some spiritual or religious practice, like I have incorporated into my practices some elements of West African spiritual systems. So I have an attachment that way. So any way that we may have a relation, I want to examine those relationships, and let's talk about and honestly discuss. How we feel about their advice, commentary, intervention into our political, social, cultural, economic drama over in America. I thought that just made for a good discussion. Oh, man, did I miss that? Are you serious, Sister Sunshine? Speech from Arrested Development? Because that's my group. Don't be playing, man. Nah, that's what's up. Damn, I missed it. I just sent you an invite over on our chat with Speech from Arrested Development Live. LOL. No, that's hot. That's some dope stuff. All right, Chair, give you a couple minutes. But yeah, I think conversations like this are necessary. And I think that they're super important. Why? Because if we as a people over here, you have heard me say this before, I strongly think we have to develop not only just an international awareness, but a very real participation in this country's foreign policy or its international policy, the sides that it takes on international positions. You understand? So that we can clearly point out who the real enemy is. I think a lot of times, not only does the so-called civil rights are going back and forth with civil rights, are thinking that we're going to find some type of salvation, or we're going to vote our way to freedom, or we're going to be able to modify or reform or have them grow some type of conscience to where they would amend their constitution to inclusion, or to inclusion to a degree of equity for black people. I'm sorry if I don't see that. Call me a pessimist. You know what? I'll be Debbie Downer. I just don't see us voting our way to liberation. So with that being said, we have to take advantage or not us not voting our way to freedom, we have to be aware, take advantage of every opportunity, every avenue, every chance we get to establish self-determination and political. Though I will say we won't be able to vote our way to liberation, political participation, the striving for political power, political control is a necessary step, I believe, in the achievement and fruition of Black power. And my end game being that of complete liberation through separation. I honestly believe that. But I don't believe that in itself is sufficient. What's going on, Brother Che?
Hey, what's up, brother Yanga? I was just listening to what you were saying about the politics that we address. Politics alone is not going to bring us toward liberation. As Neely Fuller puts it, there's 9 areas of human activity of which racism, white supremacy controls, and that is entertainment, education, economics, labor, law, politics, sex, war, and religion. So, and
Yeah.
Lady Ch is with me as well. I don't know if you can see her.
Who's with you?
Lady Che, seduction doll.
Lady. There you go. That's what I know about. Hey, Lady Che. I know about as the great seduction doll. What's going on? What's cracking, cuz? Both of y'all. What's good?
Okay, we try to. We had a little moment where we had a little family situation happen, and we got through it. So we back on the board together.
Okay, that's what's
We
good.
experienced the loss. So we good now. We good now.
That's good. I
Yeah.
agree with you, Che. Finish that thought up, brother, please. I didn't want to distract you. I got to hollering at Lady Che, but finish that thought.
Um. So lately, Yanga, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the B1 space, and me and Lady Che belong to the B1 space. I've been tuning into a B1 YouTube content creators for at least 5 years now, and that's pushing the foundational Black American descendants of slavery rhetoric, and how they're basically saying that Pan Africanism is dead or it's one sided. So I wanted to chime in and say a lot of Black Americans that have been pushing Pan Africanism for generations. I myself am a product of Garbyites and Black Panthers. So I was basically instilled with the red, black, and green from as long as I could remember. And it seems to me and others that it's been a one-sided fight. That in order for us to overthrow racism, white supremacy, and replace it with a system of justice, as Nellie Fuller would put it, we have to unite. But how we go about that? And when we say unite, we're not saying everybody has to be on the same ideology. The only thing that we want to know is if you're against racism, white supremacy, and you want to replace it with a system of justice. That's what I've gathered from being in this B1 space. But now this B1 space is being turned into a divestment group, and we want genocide of our people. That is not what B1 is saying. B1 is saying that foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery, are a unique group in this country. And we have a specific reparations claim with this U.S. government. Now we're saying, look, we are all victims of colonialism, neo-colonialism. Sue your colonizer. Our colonizer just so happens to be the United States. But we got people in the islands that could sue the British, that could sue the French. We got people in Africa that could sue for their reparations from the Dutch, from the British, from the French, from the Spanish, and from the Italians. because we already know about the Scramble for Africa. If we don't know, the Scramble for Africa happened in 1884, where heads of European powers sat down around the table and carved up Africa like a pie. And each one took whatever piece they wanted. And now Africa's all divided up as a result of it. If there wasn't already division prior to that, they just added more division to it. And we know how this Caucasoid operates by divide and conquer. So they divide us up and they are able to conquer us. So now foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery, are like, look, we have our own reparations claim with this United States government. Why is it a problem that all these other groups, they have their own tribes, they have their own tribalism stuff going on? It's been going on even before the European invaded Africa. That when foundational Black Americans stand up and say, look, we're not caping for these other groups no more. We lended our support to the Marcus Garveys. We lended our support to the Kwame Nkrumahs. We lended our support to the Thomas Sankoras and the other international Black leaders of Black nationalism that we know of. And for instance, Garvey, he wasn't able to get nothing popping in Jamaica. You say, why wasn't he able to get nothing popping in Jamaica? Because the coolie class in Jamaica, the upper bourgeois Negroes, was not feeling anything that Garvey was saying. So Garvey had to come to Harlem, New York, and he amassed a following of 8 million followers. Like I said, my great-grandparents were Garveyites in New York. My grandmother was a Black Panther in Brooklyn, New York. So I have this knowledge, but a lot of people don't have this knowledge because they didn't grow up like that. But I was fortunate enough to have the upbringing that I did and the ancestors that I do have or did have. And they instilled me with this knowledge, like Black is beautiful, Black is everything. I was playing James Brown on Black and I'm Proud, Say It Loud on Black and I'm Proud when I was 5 years old. So I've been pushing this Pan-Africanism a long time. And when I came into this B1 space, it started becoming clear, like, is this one-sided? Like, are other Blacks in the diaspora pushing for our liberation as hard as we are?
Well, you know what? I want to say this, Che, and I'm gonna let you get right back to it, because I am so glad you came and cleared up the B1. Had you and I not developed a friendship, not developed a camaraderie where I know how you get down personally, and you would have said B1, I probably would have jumped in your shit. Because the way B1 is being represented now is, I mean, really, Black first, really, I mean, it is really very questionable if it is Black first. So to hear you break it down from the inception, what it started from to what it's gotten to, really explains a lot. Son, I don't know if that's you, bro. You might have to mute your mic. It really explains a lot. But I would like to know, where the hell did it take the left turn? Where and why and how?
You want to answer me?
Where it took the left turn?
Yeah.
I think it's I can't really honestly say where it took the left turn. I can just say this, that right now you got a lot of confusion going on. You got a lot of confusion with just regular Black people in the United States. I'm looking at okay, look. When we talk about Black nationalism and are we talking about replacing this what was it called, what you call it?
The global system of racism and white supremacy.
With Black nationalism in the United States only, right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's focus on just the United States only. Can't focus on any of the foreign stuff coming in, because that's what's caused all the confusion in the first place. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody wants their Blackness to be acknowledged. They want their foreignness to be acknowledged. But here in the United States, we really have to focus on foundational Black America, American descendants of slavery. Those that right here, this is Black America, right? We're not focused. We're not even calling it Black America. See what I'm saying? There's so many
Mm-hmm.
different types of Black going on here. It's creating all sorts of confusion. Everybody wants to be right. But what's right, really, in my opinion, is what's going on in Black America with foundational Black Americans, Black people born in America who can trace their lineage back. Right now, they have a stake in claim to be able to be heard. Right now, everybody else is taking the place of that. They jump in with their agendas. That's it. That's why Black sit on the bottom right now. And it needs
Mm-hmm.
to stop. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? You see
I
what I'm saying?
understand what you're saying.
Where where the Black people here in America are still getting the boot. We're still getting the bottom of everything. We still get treated like shit. We're still not getting respected. Politics don't respect us. If they did, they would have cut that check a long motherfucking time ago. Neely Fuller Jr. says it only takes 15 minutes to cut the check. Why is it taking all these studies and shit? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
the people
Yep.
in America, the Black people in America, have been getting shit on for a long time. Not to say that Black people in England, Black people in Africa, Black people everywhere aren't getting mistreated. Black will always be mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Black has
Mm-hmm.
been mistreated. Until we take over that for everywhere else, we can't. Right here, we're the example. We're the example that everybody steals off of. We're the
Yeah.
example that everybody emulates. We're the
Mm-hmm.
example. So until
Mm-hmm.
we change the example, no one else can grow from it.
So,
Yeah.
just to give context to what she's saying, the B1 space has not forgot about the diaspora. We have not neglected the diaspora. What we're saying is, look, we are a unique group. Even on Sister Nanny's show yesterday, y'all were talking about how Black Americans are a unique group. We
But
have a
B1,
experience.
B1, do you
Uh,
know, have you heard of that? Have you heard of Taz?
no, I haven't heard of Taz. I've heard of
Yes.
Michi X, and I've heard of Cynthia G.
Well, and you should go check out Taz because I'm gonna tell you, Che, and you my dude. So I'm gonna give forewarning. You keep hollering B1 over here, we're set tripping over here, Holmes. We don't do, they have, I think B1 is probably from the representatives I've seen, um hold on, I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. From okay, yeah, that sounds good. From the I'm sorry, from the representatives I've seen from B1, I think that they if they aren't dangerous, they have the potential to be very dangerous.
Why?
I
Because
mean, you should just go, he has videos like are black men dumb as fuck. How is that black first?
No, that's
that's
not.
not Black first.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about because the B1 space that I listen to, I can
Uh-huh.
name the people that I listen to.
Right.
Um,
Professor
Tariq
Tariq
Nasheed,
Nasheed, Professor Black
Professor
Truth,
Black Truth, the
um,
Black
the Black
Authority,
Authority, Jason
Jason
Black.
Black.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
Yeah,
um,
that's the spaces
that's
we're in. We're in
yeah, that's
intelligent Black
we're an
talk.
intelligent Black
Well,
talk.
someone needs to snitch on Taz. You need to check his channel out. Do y'all have a report system? Do y'all have a complaint box? I want to file a formal complaint.
Because we listen to intelligent Black talk. All this other stuff is just fluff. It's just like opinionated fluff. We're talking about people that make it a point to lead the non-thinking into the right frame of mind. We're talking about Professor Black Truth and Jason Black have been teaching Black first everything, including in politics, everything for years. We're talking 10 plus years. This goes along with the
Well,
same series of, they use the same formulas as the codified books, which is Neely Fuller Jr., You know, things like that.
Well, let me do this for me. Do this for me. Some of these people put in the chat, because I'm telling you, there have been, put those links, put those names in the chat. It's all about informing the people. People's Education Committee, PC. Because I'm telling you, B1, from just my introduction into it, is being grossly misrepresented. Black Son, son, you knew these people before I did. What do you have to say on that? What do you think?
Oh, here I come, nigga. Here I come. Sorry about that. Hey, here I come. Here I come. Here I come. So, okay. So, sorry about that, Yanga. Hey, Shay, what's going on? Seduction dog.
Hey, how you doing, brother Black Son?
Okay. So a good example of B1 is how you. Let me just ask a quick question. How you guys feel about Black Lives Matter?
No,
I'm not feeling it.
Right. Okay.
Talked about the LGBTQ.
Right.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. See what Yanga was saying. Look at the snare. Black Lives Matter. So you're like, well, damn, that sounds good. And what Yanga is saying is B1, please correct me if I'm saying it wrong, Yanga, is doing the same thing. Black nationalism doesn't have to be reinvented. Yanga took us way back to the Civil War, where Black nationalism was born.
Right.
And we've had proper, the torch has been passed to Garvey, to Malcolm X, to goddamn Huey P. Newton, to George Jackson. The torch has evolved with these, I want to say, revolutionaries that have defined it for the time, like Malcolm X. And and Malcolm X is a Muslim. He was the first to say, wait a minute. What Elijah Muhammad is doing is a form of theocracy. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And so a Muslim from the Nation of Islam was the first to say, you know what? No, we got to take that out. Now here come the atheists. I mean, the whole West Coast chapter of the Black Panther parties. I mean, from Bunchy Carter to goddamn Jimmy Huggins to the Steiner brothers, they were all atheists. They didn't believe on that God stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that nationalism is he took the theocratic stigma out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because before pre-Malcolm X, it was like, we're going to build this nation based on Christianity, based on Islam. And he's like, wait a minute, this ain't going to work, because black people, they're not going to let go of Christianity, they're going to let go of Islam. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so in his mindset as a nationalist, he said, okay, well, how do we come together outside of that? And so he represented that torch. Okay. Then we get into like you said, the Huey P. Newtons, the Free Pro. So we have what I'm saying, Che and family, is that we have already established B1. We don't need a Black Lives Matter B1 to reinvent the wheel. This wheel that we own, a Black nationalism, has already evolved since the time of the Civil War.
Right.
Black first was also
Martin Delaney.
Yeah. Eliminate motherfucking white people coming in and other foreign matters to come in and replace and to distract from
co-op. Yeah, co-opted seduction. Yeah. And I'm glad that, because Yang even pointed out to me, I was like, damn, all these Black nationalists existed around the same time as your goddamn Frederick Douglasses, your goddamn W.D. Du Bois, all the way back. They coexisted. But see, in the schools, you're not going to learn that.
Right.
And so, yeah, through Black nationalism, we say, no, we not something new. We've been here.
Yeah.
Right.
So the B1s, they're new. They're new to this. Y'all, B1s, they have a term in prison called new booties. No, y'all, B1, y'all the new booties. Don't know what the hell going on. Just come into prison and you looking all scared and you know the sharks are lurking about. That's B1. But with the Black nationalists, that ain't going down. We know what time it is even before we goddamn hit them gates. Am I wrong, Yanga?
You're right.
Goddamn,
you're right.
God, there ain't no breaks. There ain't no breaks for Black nationalism, man. Ain't no Mike Mute, bro. Ain't no Mike Mute.
another title to add to it. You know what I mean? Like, you're black. You should want to believe in Black nationalism. You should want to strive for Black nationalism. You know what I mean? All this other shit is like, when I think about B1, Black first,
right?
Black everything first. That's where my brain is. For the simple fact that
I don't disagree, dog. I don't disagree.
you got all these foreign if you listen to like the foreign black people, they come in with a different thought processes of
Mm-hmm.
what American black people are or what
Mm-hmm.
American black people do, and they try to run us with the propaganda, and so I do believe that we need to get on one page, and even if that is everybody saying everybody in America, let's start with America first because that's our biggest problem. Let's start with America first before we can
Right.
go to the other nations.
Okay. Ooh, I mean, I'm itching. Ooh, go on. They say your dogs. I'm about to bust that foreign thing wide open in a minute. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
I'm not thinking only in America because I'm a limited mind right now. It's just America. I'm thinking about the United States only. We come to one accord, whether it be being black and being a black nationalist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our code, and that's what we stand on. That would be a good thing if we could get our American black people here on that page before we can lead anyone else as the example to follow. You know what I mean? Black nationalism means nationalism. It means you can go nationally, right? Not just in the United States. You probably go internationally with it after we develop a very good system, correct?
Well, you know what? And can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay. And please jump in, Yanga. Please jump in anytime. Okay, so
Okay.
the thing about the foreigners, they're not respecting our black nationalist process.
Period.
Okay.
Mhm.
Malcolm X did not die for no reason. He died because him and Elijah Muhammad did not see eye to eye on what black nationalism is. Okay. But I will respect the process. Let me say this. Elijah Muhammad was the first to say, don't follow any Jamaicans, don't follow any goddamn Haitians, don't follow anybody outside of America. This is an American struggle. Now, whether you agree with Elijah Muhammad or don't agree with Elijah Muhammad, that is a part of the process of black nationalism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we agree.
It's just that Elijah Muhammad wanted to add a theocracy, and Malcolm X said, nah, that's not going to work. That's still the process. Whether you agree with Malcolm, you do agree with Elijah Muhammad, that's still the process. So when a foreigner comes over here from England or Jamaica and talk about some Bible, well, you just now let me just say this, and Yanga can goddamn vouch for this. Black nationalists and integrationists have been fighting each other.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So who the dude? So if I fought the Martin Luther Kings, the Webb, the Du Bois, I done fought the integrationists. Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? You're disrespecting Malcolm X's process. He spilled blood for this.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're coming with a Bible? So you're disrespecting one of my black the torchbearer who took. First of all, if it wasn't for Malcolm X, I wouldn't be in the black nationalists because it was for him that it allowed people like me to come into it. Because he said something that rang with me, and people always ignore this. Malcolm X said, "If you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, put it in your pocket." He's not telling you to get rid of it.
Yeah, just keep it to yourself. Yeah.
What he's saying is it's not a uniting factor. He didn't say, because he said, "Look, I'm still a Muslim." You know what I'm saying? I'm still a Muslim, but he knew that it was not a uniting factor.
Right.
That's the evolution of black nationalism. And so for them not to even learn that speck of lesson in our American black history is a slap in the face, because he said right then and there, keep it in your pocket. So you now got all these foreigners with the arrogance ignoring our plight. So I guess you must think we're integrationists. We're not integrationists. We're black nationalists. So this is our history. So if this is our history, this is our fight, you better goddamn fall in line and learn it. That's what I'm saying to foreign people. Right. I'm not saying don't lead. And I agree with Elijah Muhammad. He said, don't have them lead you. Now, if they want to help in the fight, then fall in position. But you can't lead us to that, because y'all been liberated. We have not been liberated.
Exactly.
That's what I was stating in the very beginning, that there's a lot of confusion amongst us in the States. I mean, there's a lot of fucking confusion with black people in the States.
Right.
I think we
in which side not to believe in, what to ride with, who not to ride with, what to believe in. It is a confliction to not just the mindset, but your overall fucking soul and who you talk to. It's just passing one confused thought onto another, which we all really need to do is get on one educational fucking page.
What is the enemy of revolution?
A non-revolutionary.
Yeah, stagnation, non-movement, shit,
Chaos,
oppression.
Let me say this real quick. Sunshine, get on the
African.
panel, man. We ain't gonna play these typing games. Get on the panel, man. I'm sorry, I called her man. Get on the panel, Sunshine. We join in on this conversation. Come on. We're not gonna play this.
Here's one of the things though I wanted to say about the whole our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora interjecting or having advice or saying to our national liberation struggle. I think that the whole concept of Pan-Africanism had been taken out of context. The concept was taken out of context. The whole concept of Pan-Africanism, like Black nationalism, was birthed out of nation building for the Black African here in America.
Right.
Whether we would separate here or go somewhere else. At no time did it say we have to include the opinion, the advice, it was solely related to what direction we would take in our national liberation struggle.
Right.
Yeah.
What ended up happening, in my belief, in Pan-Africanism, that struggle leaving America combined with the hatred of ourselves, a hatred of America, and what we typically do as Black people, look to other people to lead us, begin to change Pan-Africanism as an option for repatriation to cultural appropriation or cultural nationalism or further eroding of the Black American identity into a satellite of an African identity. And I would even go so far to say for some people it was escapism. It was the ability to say, I'm participating in the African liberation struggle by doing all of this stuff from Africa, feeding people in Africa, sending money to freedom fighters in Africa, yet you're stepping over hungry, homeless people right here, watching the police brutalize us. But you supporting the fighting and the feeding of Africans, and the same fucking atrocities are happening right here. I tell you, it's cowardly. It's a way to assuage your guilt and say that you are participating in some form of Black liberation, and at the same time separate yourself from the horrors of what's happening and the reality that the little bit of effort you're putting into Africa or wherever is not enough, because you don't see, you can throw something at Africa and you're not there to see whether it had an effect or not.
Right.
When you're here and you're fighting, you're always reminded that you have to intensify the struggle because you don't see the change. It's right in your face. You're always reminded that your sacrifices aren't fucking enough.
Right. And here's the thing, gang, in this, what I've learned from this B1 space is, look, Black Americans been fighting white supremacy since day one. Since we got off them ships, we've been fighting white supremacy. And it seems like the rest of the diaspora hasn't been fighting as hard for liberation as we have been. So this Pan-Africanism has took a one-sided approach where Black Americans are leading the torch on the liberation, and the other nations, if you will, are just taking a back seat and watching what we're doing and not participating in what we're doing.
May I interrupt you for a moment right there, Che? And that's why y'all gonna have to have a pen and paper with me so you don't forget your thoughts, because I have to interject. I would totally agree. Would you say though, Che, that isn't that just another form of economic exploitation of Black people? They want us to foot the bill for Pan-Africanism again. I mean, isn't this what everybody does to us? Stay in our damn pockets, rob us of our intellectual properties to sponsor them and further their advancement. Is this another form of economic exploitation of the Black African in America, brother?
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It's
Hey,
another.
speak on it. I just want to interject that. Please
Another form
continue,
of
man.
degradation. It's another form of fucking taking advantage of what we've been working for generations and generations. I mean, the fact is that everybody wants the win, but nobody wants to participate in the win. And when we're doing the win, we're trying to do it. They want to get in the way of the win, and that's just crazy. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
Snubbing up. Hey,
You muted, Yanga. Yeah, Angel, jump on the panel, man. You family,
I
brother.
don't do a lot of texting, but I would love to respond. I would love to respond to that because I disagree with that. You know, everything of that. Black Nat, you yourself. There's a quote from Martin Delany. Martin Delany said, "We are a nation within a nation, as
Right.
the Poles in Russia, as the Hungarians in Austria, as the Welsh, the Irish, and the Scotch in the British Dominion." And that's from Martin Delany. We are a nation, regardless, and we have every technical skill, every fucking thing we need to nationalize ourselves as far as social interaction, economic spending, maybe not production at this point, but economic spending, social interaction, economic spending, and cultural control and control of our image. We have enough power and means that if we made those primary focal points, we could control those shits. If we started using their ugly ass system to start suing motherfuckers who defame us, slander us, disparage us, if we push for hate crimes, if we started, just holding some of those things, economic exploitation, if we controlled our spending and spent as a collective, we would see a little bit of change. We would see a step in the right direction. So no, Snub, we have everything within us to be a nation. We just don't move as one.
Well, let me say this to Angel, man, because Angel pushes the Mississippi campaign. Angel, you know damn well that's a part of Black nationalism. Come on, man, stop playing, Angel. Come on, get on this panel, man. You know what I'm saying? Because when he talks about the Mississippi campaign, he talks about a form of Black nationalism. Come on now, Angel, cut that out, brother. Cut that out.
Maybe he doesn't know it's Black nationalism. Come on up here, man. Share it with us.
Share it with us, brother.
Yeah, so I wanted to interject and say there's this thing called the New African Republic.
Yeah, the Republican, the provisional government. Absolutely, which I am a sworn citizen. Absolutely.
Okay, and along with that, there's the Mahali Party. Mahali Party is an all-black independent party that's based out of the South. So I think with the combination of those two, we can kill two birds with one stone and create our own nation within a nation and have the political power to bring the resources to our people that need them. Me and Seduction Doll do a lot of work around the homeless here in Denver, Colorado. And our people, it's mainly our people that are out here on these streets. It's mainly foundational Black American descendants of slavery that have been displaced, gentrified out of their communities that are out here on these streets. And I know it's not just Denver, it's nationwide. So,
well, I think one of the things is, like you're talking about, Che, and I have to give shouts out to Seduction for Lady Che for this, is there's really, and especially in this age of social media, there is really not a lack. I mean, there's really not a lot of, community involvement. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of that one-on-one going on. So I think that when we talk about this Black nationalism, practical Black nationalism, pragmatic Black nationalism, and like you said, getting out here and aiding in the power of the people and what's really happening to the people in our blind participation, man. Damn, I forget to the main point I wanted to make, but that's why we don't. And to give you back to Mike, I don't think we see that major movement.
Right.
As
Well,
we're talking about nation as
mhm,
a nation, that
mhm,
major movement as a nation, because that's where I was going with it. Because of the lack of social involvement with one another and the domestication, the further domestication of us,
mhm.
we giving up the fight. I'm gonna tell you, with all of this damn DoorDash, all this other shit in this digital world, all of this further domestication of black people, we really are isolating ourselves, alienating ourselves from the cruelty of capitalism, from the real experiences of human social interaction. Basically, feeling your brother's pain leads to plight, destruction in a society, while we still become the battery of that society because we're not fighting to create a infrastructure in a world that's changing. You know, we're not fighting to carve our piece out. We're still, all they do is market the latest shit at us.
Yeah.
The new video game, the new this. So we're perpetuating the system that is eventually gonna destroy, because we look at the resources are dying,
Mhm,
crime is going up because of the human value, dehumanization
mhm.
is at a fucking all-time high, especially amongst black people. So I mean, like, one of the things I think in really our nation building is we're gonna have to fucking unplug.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
Right. We got to unplug from the matrix. Uh,
Yeah,
they're moving us into this metaverse, and I've been learning a little bit. I don't know everything about it, but this 3D virtual reality world.
Yeah, I've been exploring it on different platforms. Including like not limited to the Discord. I've been exploring it. It's a lot of sorry, it's a lot to learn. It really takes away from the human experience. I think that once we are so in tune to even this YouTube fucking these chats, we miss the human contact. We miss the human interaction of us actually bonding, talking to people. We don't feel the energetic vibes of the other. We're not. We're basically um, on platforms just to be in disagreement with each other. Whereas if we were in person, the vibes would probably be different. I think that too. It's geared for us to because of the coronavirus or whatever. If it wasn't the coronavirus, it'd have been something else that would led us to this level of being wrapped up on our computers and our phones. You know what I
Right.
mean? To certain things, it
yeah,
didn't really have to be the coronavirus. It just happened to be the coronavirus this generation. And we're stuck now where we don't have interactional. We don't feel the vibrations of our brothers and sisters anymore. We're so in tune to what's going on with this electrical shit that we're feeling. We're desensitized. We're numb now. So now that we hear all these different viewpoints, it is taking us off our square of what is really important to us. And that's a question we have to ask ourselves. What is really important to us? Is it being black first, according to what these people say? Is it black nationalism, according to this, what we say? Is it the garbage stuff? Is it what is really important to us per se as a people who live in the Americas right now? Everything else, I couldn't focus on anything internationally right now, if if you ask me to, because there's so many problems going on with black people in the United States. Not to mention, you have to prepare for the worst case scenarios of what happens
Mhm.
if this pandemic takes us to like the movies or whatever. How are we gonna? Are we doomsday prepping? What are we doing? There's so many other questions other than this nationalism that are going to concern black people in the next, and
Well, I think I believe it's like I'm always saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying? So I didn't mean to cut you off.
I said we're confused and we're conflicted, and that's
Yeah.
really what it is. Is that the sooner we can come to those terms in agreement with that we're confused and conflicted, and we don't know where to go. Like one minute I'm sitting there like, well, that makes sense, but if I look to this direction, then it takes away from my other belief system. You know what I mean? And
But
where it
and
was,
that's okay. That's one of the things we have to accept. We have to learn pure democracy. And it's okay. It is okay to have. This is what I love about Black nationalism. Black nationalism is nation building. In a nation, you're going to have various thoughts, various opinions, people who have this idea, they favor this, they favor that. We forget, we abhor the white man so much that sometimes I think we forget primary lessons, though we may not have liked them. This is the thing about Black nationalism also. We accept our reality, we accept the history, we accept the tragedies, the horrors that came along with our history that we have used to add to our development. And one of the things is their primary schooling, their public schooling. And they taught us revolution. Albeit they put white people in place, this country was founded on a fucking revolution.
Facts.
They gave us the very principle. They stuck their foot in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They stuck their fucking foot in their mouth. So what we're saying, I can see where our reformers say, hey, they gave us a revolution here. But we're saying, okay, yeah, but now we have to take it to that next level. Like it says in their writings, like Defense Minister Huey P. Newton knew, and he put it in the Black Panther Party paper, and I may misquote it, but it's something to the effect of, and I believe it's in their Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, one of their writings. It says when the government is unable or unwilling to protect the people, then it is upon the people to take up arms or whatever, or to change that government.
Yep.
That's in their writings.
Tyrannical. Yep.
Well, a tyrannical government, right? That's not sedition. That's not sedacious. What I just said. I am paraphrasing, misquoting, probably horribly, what's in their writings.
Right.
And so we take that, and then we look at their history, look at their evolution of nation. And they went through and they go through their disagreements, but they all agreed that they wanted a nation, to the point that they would fight that what they deemed to be tyrannical rule or their oppressor class or whatever. And so they fought with that commonality. Once they got their nation, they devised a system of government that enabled them, not us, of course, enabled them say in that government. And they didn't get it right the first time. It was very bourgeoisie the first time. And the first time you had to have so much land, so much this, so much that. But through the course of evolution, through minor revolutions, industrial revolution, the Civil War, which was a revolution, a bourgeoisie revolution between industrialists and those who didn't give a fuck about modernization and said, fuck, we'll use niggers forever. You see what I'm saying? So you see the involvement of that. Now we sit here and we'll learn all of this in fucking history. And then when it comes to build our nation, act like we grow fucking stupid. Like we don't have forefathers. You got a Thomas Jefferson, we got a Martin Delany.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got a fucking George Washington, we got a Marcus Garvey.
Right.
So we should evolve. So at the core of Black nationalism is what is in the best interest of Black people, what will evolve Black people to the understanding which will lead to the actions and eventually the fruition of nationhood, the understanding of nationhood, which leads to the actions of nationhood, which leads to the fruition or the building of a nation.
Right.
So, I mean, that's my skill on it.
With you on it. There's no
You know,
disagreement.
I think when it just comes to us, it's like we get infantile. You know what Martin Delaney called it? I'm on my Martin Delaney, y'all. I think you have to start at the cornerstone. So y'all forgive me. I'm gonna be on my Martin Delaney for a little bit. I'm gonna use that name. I'm gonna say that name. I'm gonna throw it out there until people go look him up and he becomes a staple, just like fucking Frederick Douglass.
Right.
Right.
You're gonna know Martin Delaney, goddammit. You're gonna say, the nationalists at it again. And maybe you will take that and introduce it to your children. It may be late to us, you know. I got it from my dad. He's a staunch black nationalist. When we talked about Frederick Douglass, Martin Delaney, I was shocked people didn't know. I was like, they be talking about Frederick Douglass, and I'd be like, yeah, but Martin Delaney said. They'd be like, who? I'm like, Martin Delaney, man.
Yeah,
they be like, who?
They only teach a certain shit.
Yeah.
Like we discussed, Yanga, we come from an era where you have to go out and seek this knowledge. Now we're in the information age. Now you can look up stuff, but back in the day, you had to go out and seek that knowledge. If you wanted to learn something about black nationalism, black liberation, we had cats like John Henry Clark, and you have brothers that would get the VHS tapes and play them in their basement and invite the whole community to watch them. Now we in this YouTube space where you can watch all their videos, you can watch all you have access to all this information, but still so many of our people are ignorant to what is really going on.
Right, and they don't want to look it up. Even if we are in the information age, there are a lot of people that refuse to do their own research and refuse to look shit up, so they continuously stay in this repetitive cycle of cognitive dissonance. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
Yep.
What is beautiful though is like what Chase said, and us just throwing the name out there. It's it's a double-edged sword, and that's the sad part. YouTube gives us overnight scholars, and I honestly believe with scholarship comes discipline. This is why they call it a disciple. I believe in having a teacher. I believe in learning the art of being a student, what I had to go through. So this instant scholarship, this overnight scholarship that YouTube offers, I think sometimes is dangerous. However, the upside of it is like we're talking about now. When we constantly mention these names like Martin Delaney, it's so simple to research. All you got to do is type it in. So, now us as black nationalists, separatists, those that have always known there's an alternative, have an opportunity to push our pioneers and our theorists out there now. So I can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot more people are going to realize they're black nationalists. People who didn't really know, oh shit, yeah, this is what I am, and didn't know what ideology it fell under. So you had all of these charlatans, all of these snake oil peddlers come in and with this, and you throw black on it and shit. We all desire collectivism. We all desire to be back to a part of the origin. So black is a natural drawer, but the motherfucker is a snake handler.
Right. And I want to give a shout out to Angel Nup because he come with also another concept, the Mississippi Campaign. He wants to put it, and this is nothing new. Angel, he's a visionary. He always talks about, and he talks about the bravery of let's put this into practice. And I'm not going to really, I'm going to let this man tell us about this, man. Angel, you got the floor, brother.
Peace, everybody. Peace to Black Sign Yanga, Che, Seduction Sister. Thank you. It's an honor, as always, to be part of any panel because I'm not that smart. I'm not that bright. You never hear me talk about how smart and full of wisdom and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm about. because I'm not the smartest
sir.
person
But I'm
in the
sure you
world.
have something to offer, God. You're a black man, so I'm sure you have something to contribute, God. I appreciate your humility, but I refuse to eat all of that. I know you got something to contribute. Let's hear what you're talking about.
Well, if you live to be as long as I have and haven't learned nothing at all, it's really pathetic and pitiful. So I mean, I have to learn something. I mean, I was born. I was 5 years old when Dr. King was assassinated. Now, I was there. When I was a little child, the Black Panther Party still was going strong, and the Nation of Islam was very strong, and the early 70s, and I lived that era, and I must say that it was different then in my experience during this period of time, where some of us are reading it in a book. I actually was living it every day.
Okay.
And I was living with people in their mindset in various parts of the country, because I lived in Mississippi and I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and New York and different places. So I was able to be around different people during this time period. And I must say, we was more together and understood the brother and the sisterhood when I was a little boy than we're now. And basically, I would tell you, it's because we didn't have too much of a choice. We understood who the enemy was. There was, even the so-called Uncle Tom Coon type people, if you want to call them that, we all understood who the enemy was. We had different ways and different strategies of dealing with it, but we understood who the enemy was. They talk about Dr. King. I never heard Dr. King say, well, the white man is my friend. And every time I ever heard Dr. King speak, he made it very clear who the enemy was.
I don't know. Wait a minute now. We ain't this type of show. We don't go along to get along.
Yeah, but I never heard him. I never heard. He said some things.
In his speech, he went on about, I have a dream, little black boy is gonna be holding little white girls.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm talking about. I never heard him say that who the enemy was. He made it very clear who the enemy was. And even after Malcolm X went to Mecca and talked to all that white man, I saw the white man at the Kaaba and all that stuff. I never heard Malcolm X talk about he knew exactly who the enemy was. These men knew exactly who the enemy was. But now for me, I was raised.
I don't know.
The Nation of Islam teaching.
I'm a snub. No, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm gonna let it go for the sake of conversation. But yeah. I'm really for the integrity of my channel, and people don't be like, man, you ain't gonna let that go. I don't know if Dr. King would have classified white America as the enemy to black people. You're gonna have to bring me something to substantiate that claim you're making, man. I can bring you where all the evidence would point to the contrary. All the evidence would point that he really was a multiculturalist. He really believed in, egalitarianism to the degree that he tried his best to say that, this race thing didn't affect social interaction with white people, that they weren't naturally an enemy. And I challenge that. I think white people are naturally the enemy of melanated people of the earth and every fucking thing they come in contact with.
I can concur with what you're talking about. Also, at the same time, even without putting the race card in there, I don't know about the natural. What you talk about? What is natural? Because in order to say that it's natural, that means you have to study something in its natural state, and you haven't been nowhere to study nobody in their natural state prior to your interaction with them. So in order for us
history, we have the luxury, we have the benefit of history. You have to understand, I'm a revolutionary, and we use material dialectics and historical dialectics. I have the, I don't want to say luxury, but I have the evidence of history that anywhere that the white man has been, he has been disagreeable, destructive, and
that's any
tried to
conqueror.
establish themselves as the ruling class.
That's any conqueror. You're not saying nothing no different from any other conqueror, even prior to,
and that's
even
what I'm
prior
telling
to
you.
even prior to the European going to the continent.
The white man's nature. I'm saying the white man's nature is to conquer and not to live harmoniously. That's the point I'm making. You're right. That's any conqueror.
We're in a patriarchal civilization or society where you found men living harmoniously. Where is it even written where men live somewhere where they wasn't getting down with each other? That's what that's what happens in a patriarchal civilization. Men fight each other for dominance.
Who writes history? Who writes history?
The conqueror.
Who writes history?
It comes from, it's written from the view
so that's
of whoever.
Why you won't find the harmonious lifestyle in mainstream history. They're not going to let you know that is possible.
Where do you see that? Where do you see a sign of that right now living anywhere? Where's the sign of that among any people right now? Where's the sign of it? Where's the sign of men getting together, living in harmoniously, and women are treated as equals and all this kind of beautiful utopia, fantasy delusion of stuff?
This is the fight against white supremacy. So that
I understand white supremacy, but I also understand telling delusion and lies and fantasy.
Because it is intentional, it is deliberately being disturbed by an exploit system that is enforced by violence, brother.
Who are these people? Who is this tribe that's living this holy and righteous and get along life? Who are these people? Where is it at?
You say what he say?
Where is this utopia anywhere in history? Where is it at? It's not Kemet. It's not Ethiopia.
Hold on, Angel. Both y'all, Yanga and Unup, y'all made me get off the gavel. Y'all made me goddamn go old school the arena. Both of y'all. I'm gaveling. Okay, I understand both of y'all have a little slight disagreement, but what I want to know is the end game. Now, Angel, you have talked about the Mississippi campaign, and I like it. So, as Black nationalists, I want to bring you here and find out the ultimate end game. Because I agree, what you're saying about Dr. King, we can debate that, you know what I'm saying? But that's in the past. I want to know, as Black nationalists here today, I want to put the Mississippi campaign on the forefront. And I want to go through with you because you are the torchbearer of the Mississippi campaign, which is nothing new. But you are the last of the Mohicans to keep that thing alive. And so, as a Black nationalist, because me and Yanga, we do come with end games. And I've always wanted you to come on the panel. I've always wanted you to come on the arena. This is, in a sense, almost the arena. I mean, I got the gavel, I got Brother Yanga. The only thing we miss is Brother Vince, but most of us are here today. So what I'm asking you is that you've talked about the Mississippi campaign. It is a form of Black nationalism. You talk about Black people coming in one state. On here. Okay, cool. And you talked about people coming together in one state. I like that. However, you always tackle this whole utopic thing. You're not for that. You're a realist, and I admire that about you, Angel. So what I'm saying is, like, can we put this Mississippi campaign to the fire right now? I mean, I know it's a lot of wordplay. You're not a lot with a wordplay, but I want to kind of, as Black nationalists, we evolve and we question things. And like I said, it sounds good to me. I want to see what is the ultimate end game, because I like the concept of, because it's and there has to be a step, and it sounds like the Mississippi campaign is a step. So that's what I want to hear today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Dr. King, we could talk about that another time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying
because I like the end game. I like to hear. I
what
want to
I'm
hear
hearing.
it because anyone that's saying to me, Dr. King thought white folks was his enemy. I want to hear this end game.
Angel.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to hear. We want to put the Mississippi campaign to the fire. Meaning, no, we don't want to destroy it. We want to forge it to make sure it's strong. Just like, making a sword. We want to see how it stands up to a line of questioning.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I like the concept, but I will say this: it hadn't been put to the test by real black nationalists. I will say that. Would you agree to that?
Yes. Well, actually, everything people were saying on the panel, I actually concur with.
Right. And I concur with the Mississippi campaign. So
Yeah,
I want you to explain it. I want to see if it could even, I just want to go through the steps of it. I like it. And it takes a lot of bravery, what you're talking about. And I feel like, it's a step to true nationalism.
Yeah, well, I'm going to step on your toes a little bit more here.
No problem.
Because to me, what is it that you want to do? Are you actually wanting to create a black nation or some brand new organization? Which one is it?
No, I want a black nation. I want a
black nation. Okay, yeah. If you're talking about concentrating on a black nation,
or us in power, I want black people
in power.
Okay.
Now, to me, black nationhood, or the term or the label, it's outdated. It's archaic.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, it fit into the 1960s, the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It fit then. But you have a brand new, different type of mindset among the masses of the people now, where they do feel a pride in themselves, but they just not into the black and the white and the black. They don't want to, they're not feeling that like they was back in the 1960s. They're just not feeling it. They understand it, but
wouldn't that destroy the Mississippi?
Those things.
Wouldn't that destroy the Mississippi campaign? Because it's for black people, is it not?
It's for the benefit. But see, I'm looking at doing things in a manner, whereas you are black nationalists. It reminds me of Bruce Lee. The art of fighting without fighting, but you're fighting. You are that, but then you're not. You want to try to paint yourself and lessen yourself in the most acceptable manner that you can be. So the masses, because black people, or soul brothers and sisters, as I like to say, we are diverse.
Absolutely.
So if we are diverse, that means black nationalism has to be diverse. So it can be able to embrace the masses of the people, unless you're looking to start a group or organization. Black nationalism means diversity of the black. So that means you have to take in consideration everybody, even those of whom you say that you don't like or don't get along with. Just like these Peckerwoods in this country done. They don't get along. They just had some kind of riot last year, whatever. January the 6th. They don't get along. They don't agree. But if you come up against this country, all of them, they're going to stop doing what they're doing and go to war with whoever attacked this country. That's how they roll.
True. Well, this is how we have Angel Snupnup. Here's the crazy thing. I don't know how you and I got back and forth, because everything you're saying now, we actually are in agreement.
Okay. And that's all I'm saying. And that's all I'm saying here, because we deserve our own nation. We deserve to be independent. We deserve to control resources, our river, a gold mine, silver. We deserve to control our destiny.
I agree.
And for me, talking it, how are we going to do that? Now, a few years ago, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't have no idea. I know that it needs to be done. And I listened to people like Minister Louis Farrakhan and a lot of people, whatever, over the years. And I'm willing to help them. Matter of fact, I did. I helped Louis Farrakhan for 9 years. I've helped a lot of people and whatever. We're not getting the job done. So now I think that we've come up with something to get the job done. What is better than taking control of a state? What is better than that? You take control of a state, you take control of the river. I think the Mississippi River actually do roll through Mississippi. Thanks. You control the river, you control the National Guard, you control the public school system. You actually are in the beginnings of the nation that you claim that you want.
Thanks.
How are we going to obtain these things that the Black nationalists want? By opening up a grocery store. I say that you take a state like a impoverished state like Mississippi. I say that since it's an agricultural state already,
right,
we can be the greatest producers of organic food on the planet. Everywhere you go on the planet, organic food. If it don't come from Mississippi, I don't really want it. Mississippi produced the best organic milk, the best organic meat. That's how, and plus you have to feed your people anyway, and you want them to eat good. Why not invest and create an agriculture superpower?
Wait a minute, you talking like a goddamn vegan right now. Are you talking about goddamn one of them vegans? Now go ahead, Yang. I mean,
listen, I love it. I mean, and really what it is that I love it because that plan has been spelled out. That's the provisional government of Republic of New Africa. I believe Mississippi is one of the states.
It is.
I was talking about the New York Times writer Charles Blow, his book, The Devil We Know, The Devil We Know, Blueprint to Black Power, which is talking about immigration back to the southern states. You yourself, I think that is a viable plan and a viable strategy to be looked into. I mean, I personally agree with it. And I think that is something that could be, be have an effect.
And all I'm asking people to do is just give it us a shot. Give us, like I said, I'm not the greatest. I've never taken control of no state. I don't know nothing about taking control of no neighborhoods or none of this stuff. I'm saying, why don't we study the strategy and whatever is lacking, just like the brother Yanga was saying earlier, we have the money, we have the skills, we got everything that we need. So wherever's lacking in this is the foundation, and everybody find their spot. I mean, you're trying to take control of an entire state. There's plenty of room to do everything that everybody wants. Because I know, like the Nation of Islam, they're good as far as and have a reputation. Their school system, how they put their school system together and how they educate. So they can do that and just find our place and make the thing work instead of, that can't do this. And there's nothing else. There's no other strategy. There's no other vision that can put us in a position where we can actually gain power. So when you talk about Africa don't want to hear a damn thing we got to say.
Right.
But if we go to Africa and tell them, this is what I can give you for such and such. Look, Congo, one of the biggest countries on the continent. Look, Congo, we'll buy a nation from you. We can look from the standpoint of a state. You can send your pioneers to the Congo. Okay, we're gonna send y'all. We're gonna support you. Start building. All those who want to be pioneers and godfathers and godmothers, the first ones to start a brand new nation independent of the United States, you will get support from your mother country, which will be the state of Mississippi that we build up. This is where I'm starting. This is where I'm looking at. This is my vision, because we're not going to get any support from nobody else, so we're going to have to make it ourselves. They're not going to give us our reparations, so we got to be slick enough to out-trick the trickster and out-slick the slickster. Use the site, just like the brother was saying earlier. Take his tools, take what he give us, and benefit ourselves and flip it. It's like taking a person that want to shoot you with a gun, take their gun and shoot them in the face with their own damn pistol. Just got to do it smarter. And then I'm saying that we don't focus on the black, so they can't say it's a black thing. No, it has nothing to do with black. So you can't call us a racist, those black racists. No, we're not talking about who brought up the word black. Nobody brought the word, because when you build Mississippi, it don't make no difference who's there. All the citizens in the state benefit. And I guarantee you, if you do it right, other people all over the country going to want to be like you. How the hell they took a impoverished poor state like that and made it a mega power in the 48 states?
Mm-hmm.
How them
let me ask
niggas
this, Angel Snubnut, because like I said, and I agree, you know, and I don't want to stop you. Those are great ideas, but now we're doing a little bit of proselytizing, because we have groups doing that. Wouldn't you also advocate, like Che was coming on and was mentioning the provisional government, the Republic of New Africa. So if you have groups that are, and they're like 20, 30 years old. In fact, I don't know if you've heard of Chokwe Lumumba, but his son is the mayor in Jackson, Mississippi, isn't it, Che? You know, so we have the ball rolling, and this is, I don't want to take your thunder or take wind out of your sails, but I mean, we have the ball rolling. I would even suggest that someone with your vigor and your fire, even that you should look into it, because if you have people with 20 years in it, they have a government, they have an assembly, they have a council and everything, then that energy and these fresh ideas you have could really be beneficial in helping the momentum of what we have already established. That's what I advocate for us. I think a lot of times we recreate the wheel. I'm sorry, you want to say something, son?
No, I was telling Che his mic is muted. It sounds like he's talking, but he's not. Yeah, his mic is muted.
Che,
your mic is muted. Yeah, your mic is muted.
We're dialogue amongst ourselves. We're having a whole dialogue over here of brainstorming amongst ourselves. You're listening.
The brother.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad.
About Mississippi, like that would be a perfect example of a nation state that we could take over, and we can build from there with the new African Republic. The 10 states of the South, that could be our nation right there within a nation, because we already have established that we're a nation within a nation. We just don't have the lands and the resources and the military backing to establish that currently.
I was exploring a whole different avenue with that. I was exploring a whole different avenue with what the gentleman say too, that I think that should be explored. You know what I mean? That's why I was having a little dialogue over here privately about this, because I think you're on the right page. What I like about it is it's like kind of from the back. It's not right in your face. The thing about it is, when things are right in front of your face, they want to knock it down and try to stop it. I think that where you're going with this is that there's a lot of there's 9 states that 10 states the Mississippi goes through, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Mississippi goes through, and I think if you look at it this way, there's that's 9 or 10 states that you got to get as black people in those 10 states along that river, along the river, to get on. Mm-hmm. So many resources in each state that could really incorporate growing as far as food wise, stuff like that. Because once you think about it, if you focus on just Mississippi being the only economic, only growth of actual produce, what happens if Mississippi is just knocked off the map, right? So you got to go with all these other states along that river can be a source of produce, can be a source of growth, and can actually part of our problem is we don't do for self. Meaning we don't grow our own food. We're not in charge of our own economics.
Food distribution.
Right.
Yeah.
Distribution. There's a lot of things we're not in charge of. But if you follow what this gentleman's saying and you just explore it in other avenues, right there along that, and within those 9-10 states, you have all the you have all the richness, you have all the properties to grow
Mhm.
within it, like to grow your nation the way you
Mhm.
want it, and he could incorporate with everybody going back to the south too. You know, it's just a matter of how you want to work it together. That's what I was sitting here exploring while the gentleman was talking.
And what I was exploring is we have strength in numbers in the South.
Mm-hmm.
The per capita is more of us in the South. Like we can control the politics,
Right.
so,
Right.
in these areas. So it would make I understand where Brother Young is coming from, where he says we should all move back to the South. We have strength in numbers and we have political power in the South. And I don't know if Angel Snubnuts heard me when I said we have a political party in the South called the Mahali Party,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about basically building a nation within a nation as well, and using the political means to do it. I'm in the realm of politics, so that's my area of expertise, if you will, and I'm in the process of actually currently running for political office here in Denver, Colorado, for mayor. But
Mm.
in the South, I think we would have a better chance of winning political seats, controlling the politics
Mhm.
in the area, because it's more of us per in density than it is any other part of this country.
True indeed.
Can I say something to Angel's
Let me, can I?
operation? Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry. Let me just throw this out real quick. The provisional government, the states of the provisional government: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. We're calling that New Africa. And we're saying that these are the territories that mass migration should go to, and that we should fight to annex and hold off, through international appeal. And if the very real inevitability comes to physical holding something off, that that these be the territories. These
Mm-hmm.
5 places: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina.
Can I use this analogy real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. And I've listened to Angel for a long time, and I want people to listen to this analogy and listen to it good. I'm an old school muscle car enthusiast, right? I love old school cars. Anybody out there know what I'm talking about? Say amen.
God. Amen.
Okay. So Angel is like a person. I'm like, Angel, man, I want a 1969 Dodge Charger. Angel said, "There's one right here." I come down to Angel's house and it's an old school Charger in the garage. It needs work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to tell you, there's two mentalities here. There's the nigga mentality and the black man, I need to get some work done mentality. The nigga be like, well, Angel, it ain't got no engine. It's not running. You never said that. No, Angel's saying, look, I got a 69 Charger that you want, but you, black son, got to put the work into it. So I got to get the work, put the new tires on it, put the new engine, transmission, do the body work. And guess what? I got a brand new Dodge Charger and I didn't put no money into it. The nigga mentality is one something for nothing. He want instant gratification. Well, damn, Angel.
Right.
You told me you had a 1969 Charger. Angel's like, yeah, it's right here. But it's not running. It's not running. That's the nigga mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Because a man who works, I already know that a 1969 Charger, they run about 68 grand starting. That's just like rust condition. So I already know Angel's not giving away a brand new running Charger. Mint condition. I already know going down there, okay, it's most likely I got to put some work into it. So I'm not surprised. That's what the Mississippi campaign is, meaning, okay, he said it's the poorest state, but we got to put the work into it. So, okay,
right.
We got to put the work into it. So these instant gratification Negroes, they're going to come and say, well, ain't nothing here, Angel. Hey, why you bring us all the way down here to Mississippi? What's going on with this, Angel? That's the nigga mentality. No, we know we got to come down there and start the work.
Right. And I to that point, Black Son, I think brothers and sisters have already started the work in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
It's my understanding that there's a community being built outside of Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
It's going to be an all-Black community. And then there's another endeavor happening in Georgia with Freedom Town.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's silly to think that when you hear of these things that the work has already been done and we can just migrate over there. We should just know better that we're gonna have to put in the work. I mean,
Yeah. Well, no, y'all workers, right.
Taught, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, yeah, Angels always emphasize that. You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to go on Angel's show and use the old school Dodge Charger analogy. Like I said, I'm a lover of the 1960. Anybody out there got a 1969 Charger that they just want to give away? Y'all come get it. Shameless plug there. But yeah, go ahead. Because I know nobody's not going to give away a mint condition running 1969 Charger. That's the difference, right? That's the nigga mentality. So yeah, it's going to take work. You know what I'm saying? It's fertile land. So yeah, it's going to take work. Meaning we got to till the land. We got to get to work. You know, got to get that green thumb working. Those in the politics, we're going to have to jump into it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to race for Mississippi as far as I know, as far as what Angel said. So, I mean, it's easy pickings down there because it needs work. See, we live in a time and age, people want instant gratification. That's why nobody's jumping on the Mississippi campaign because it requires work. Wait a minute, Angel, you got to work.
But you know, I agree. But however, let me throw this in here too, because this is, like I said, I'm on my Martin Delaney. Okay. And Martin Delaney talks about that. We talk about the two types of Black nationalism. We talk about what they call strong or classical Black nationalism and weak or pragmatic Black nationalism. So what happens is with this classical Black nationalism or strong Black nationalism, it comes hard. It's either or. There is no alternatives to it. But with what they call weak or pragmatic, practical Black nationalism, there's a little more leeway. And we can go further into that. I just wanted to, put the two out there for this example where I'm going. Like Charles Blow says, again, with this migration down south, everything doesn't have to be an agricultural revolution or a land revolution to that degree. We can move to these metropolis. When we say Georgia is one of the states, or Mississippi, everything, it just ain't country. You have cities down there. You have industry. You have factories. You have technology. You have things like, if we take Georgia as a southern state, you have Atlanta, which is a city. So we're saying what you get in the Midwest, what you get up north, what you get in all these other places. And if you're one of these people who aren't, a radical revolutionary like I may be at times, one of these people who are radical reformists who want to push the system to recognize the rights of Black people, we're saying that you would have a better chance of doing that in a densely populated area of Black people. And you find us largely populated in the South. That your participation in the political process, in the socialization process, experiment, multiculturalism, and all that other shit in these cities is to no avail. It doesn't benefit you economically. It doesn't benefit you politically in no way. And we're saying that since you participate in that process anyway, if you move down south where we are at, you just may see some motherfucking some benefit, some effects.
Right.
Not the effects of freedom, but some type of effect nonetheless.
I want to say this. And I haven't read Charles Blow book, but I was recently introduced to his writing a couple of years ago. And mind you, who's to say that he was not inspired by our videos that we put out, because I started talking about Mississippi and the South in 2018, February of 2018. And Charles Blow just recently put out his book, and I've tried to reach out to get in contact with him too. He does not respond. I've also reached out to the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi. He does not respond either. And that's all brave and that's all cool.
Well, I would say this, Angel, summed up in defense of the migration back to the South movement. The Republic of New Africa was founded in 1968.
Right. Now, this is the difference. This is what I'm proposing. Just to give an analogy, there's a rapper here in St. Louis. Many of you probably familiar with him. He's called Nelly.
Yeah.
It's getting hot in here. Take off all your clothes.
Yeah, Nelly
broke out. He broke
now,
out.
Let's not be like Nepal. We ain't gonna take off our clothes. But when they first got signed, or a record company first got introduced to them, they were the Saint Lunatics. And the record company, for some reason, did not want the Saint Lunatics. For some reason, they was attracted to Nelly as a solo artist. And Nelly said, if you don't take all of us, you don't get none of us. I'm not going with them.
Right.
Those brothers talked to Nelly and said, look, man, because I mean, it's hard, the music industry, to get a record deal. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, we here now. Why don't you go and pave the way for us? So they invested their time and their money and sacrifice so Nelly could do what he had to do. And Nelly got all of them in the door.
Yep.
Now, for me, these other states is a beautiful thing, but I'm looking at stretching your resources. What are you going to get for your money? I'm saying, first of all, the first step is the people in that state has to be on board, because they are very vital to the success. If the people of that state don't want to get with the program, why invest in them? So that's a no anyway. But if the people of Mississippi understand the vision, understand the plan, and they on board with the plan, now we're going to invest in this group, this state, to help get our foot in the door.
Well, here's where my challenge would come to that. Something I think that Lady Che Seduction said earlier, and that's just looking at, when you look at it strategically, not controlling enough coast, not just, not being able to provide as far as enough just resource wise when you're looking at one state in mass migration. That would be one of my, just off the top of my head. Secondly,
you're not looking.
Let me, and I'm gonna let you in and the second one so you can answer both of them. Secondly, I think that when you talk about just mass migration, mass migration back down south, generally, because we already are densely populated down there, that it would just be a natural occurrence. If I move wherever we went, it'd be a natural occurrence. What you're talking about now relies a lot on the compliance of the state of Mississippi, not just the inhabitants, but already with the state government. You know what I'm saying? But just moving back down south with all of these states that we already are densely populated creates a conglomerate. It creates a power move of all states, and not just the reliance on one state in itself to be not just a prototype, but the powerhouse, like you said, to even international exchange. We got Mississippi and we're trying to deal with Africa. We're going to need much more. And that would just be off the top of my head. And I'll be quiet and allow you to address that.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Yanga. Now, this is the way I'm looking at things. You have to have or build yourself a power base. You got to have something that can support your your other efforts. Of course, you don't expect this state to support 40-some million people. You can't, I mean, of course, that's ridiculous. Mississippi campaign is not about migrating to the state. Only if necessary, in order for us to be able to take over these different political offices and things of this nature. And you don't have to do that. The plan is, brother told me the state of Mississippi is about like 40%. Well, see, that's the reason why you have to be more tactful with what you're doing and don't have to actually depend on the whole population of Black folks in Mississippi anyway, because you're not going to get them. That's why it's tactful in order to show the other people in the state that what you're doing will benefit them. We're going to lower your taxes. We're going to do these different things. Once we come, we're going to get rid of, we're not going to, all this wasteful spending is going to come to an end. We're going to rehab our people in jails and prisons. You're not going to be spending all that money, wasting money on prisoners. It's a political move. It's also a war move. It's a war move because you're depending on the national. It's a national movement where all the people in the United States, whether you're in the north, south, east, west, you have to understand that if you bring the people that is looking out for your benefit into power and they are able to gain the power of a state, it benefits you no matter where you are in this country, whether you are in Detroit, whether you're in New Orleans, whether you're in Newark, New Jersey, or LA. You have to understand, because to me, I don't know, I haven't heard, but you can be a dual citizen. You can be a dual citizen of Mississippi and California. So if you are a citizen and you are accepting and have proven yourself to be part of this effort in order to gain this power, so even though you live in California, your power base, your motherland can help you. And I use this for an example.
Here would be my question.
If you got into legal problems in California, and if you could make it in Mississippi don't have to extradite you back to California. They can make the state of California justify extradition. Why you want them? Well, he was smoking crack on the corner. And how much time he looking at? Oh, that's ridiculous, man. We're not going to extradite you. You got to have a power base. So when you begin to spread yourself out to these other states, you got a power base that can help feed those efforts as you take your soldiers from one territory, as now you begin to go down into the south and begin to concentrate on these other areas. And once those areas are taken control of,
I have another question. I don't want to, I think Shay may have. Shay, did you have a question or something? Comment, question?
Is it possible to have dual citizenship in other states?
I don't know. I don't think nobody ever tried, but I guess you could do that if I don't know if it's possible. I mean, if you can have dual citizenship in different countries, why you can't have dual citizenship in different states?
That's
I don't even think nobody even tried it. I don't even think nobody ever tried it. So it's something new.
So here's my question. With all that you're saying, what's the difference between what you're saying and the provisional government for the Republic of New Africa?
The only difference is that you have to crawl before you can walk. If you cannot secure this one geographical area and gain power, I'm not talking about living in some areas and living the way that we do now. We just the mayors and we're just all the people. No, I'm talking about we want the governor house. That's what I want. I want the governor house. When you go to Alabama, we want the governor house.
So I mean, what are you proposing? Here's what I'm asking. What are you, because the Republic of New Africa, we know what they're proposing. We know what the end game is. What are you proposing? Are you proposing that, because here, this is good. This is a good conversation, because here we talk about the two nationalisms.
Yeah.
Some people say this is pragmatic nationalism, that as long as black people are in control anywhere, whether it be within the confines of another government, as long as we're in control of that, that's black nationalism. That's a form of pragmatic black nationalism. Then you got what they call, like I said, strong black nationalism said, no, at the end of the day, the end game has to be separation. So what I'm saying, I'm hearing this. What is the end game? That we own Mississippi, and then from Mississippi, we fight to annex and own Mississippi, and then from Mississippi, we begin to get other states?
I don't know about the future, because what you're describing is something that's probably futuristic, because you never know what might happen in the world, and you put yourself in a position where you're already in a position to claim your piece of the pie, so to speak.
So what are you prescribing? If what you're, because what you're talking, you do know what you're talking about, Angel Snup Nup, is future, right? I mean, anything is future. Are you saying not that far ahead in the future?
I'm talking about. But
I mean, so you're talking future. Where is this step going? If I say, okay, yeah, and all our people pack up to move to Mississippi.
Well, first of all, I didn't ask nobody to move to Mississippi. I did not say that. We're not moving to no Mississippi. That's not what it's about.
If we take Mississippi, I mean, what is the goal? What is the objective? What's the end game? What are we trying to accomplish in this project?
The first thing that you're trying to accomplish in this effort, this first step effort, is to simply gain the benefits and the rights that you should have anyway as an American citizen. No more, no less. Now, again, there's a difference. There's a difference in what you're trying to do. Do you really want to try to create a black nation or a black organization? Because the people here are diverse. If you don't, in order for this to happen.
No. Snub Nub, it's not what we're trying to do. It's because you have the proposal. You have the plan. It's right. Where is your proposal and plan taking us as a people? If we're sitting down, we're saying, okay, our brother Snub Nub has this plan. Let us listen to it from conception to completion, from beginning to end. I heard the inception. I heard how you got it. I hear the process. Where is it taking me though? What's the end game?
It's just like Charles Blok was saying in his book. And this is what I've grown to know. Prior to or after the Civil War, and of course they took the troops out of the South, our ancestors was doing what I'm talking about anyway. The only thing they was doing was living as an American citizen in this country. And they were building their small towns, building their small cities, taking different offices. They were just living their life as an American citizen. And they were successful. That's why it was necessary to form the Ku Klux Klan and all these other terrorist organizations and make all these different laws to stop them. And they did stop them, cause them to run to the north, run east, run wherever, and stop their progress. What would have happened had they left them alone? We would be in control just naturally, just like it's natural for those Mexicans and all those people in California. They just naturally putting themselves in a position. Next thing you know, they're going to control New Mexico, and they're going to control California and those states that just naturally just living their life. That's all I'm saying in this effort, to put yourself in a position, because nobody's going to do this for you except you. So you got to take, so you got to take your destiny in your own hand and gain the rights that you have anyway as a citizen. And then you take the same thing, because everything that you're doing is legal under the United States of America. You're not no terrorist organization.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So empower ourselves. We do this, and we use Mississippi as a tool to empower ourselves politically and and economically,
Yes.
as citizens.
Yes.
Okay, that's where we disagree then. Okay, I just wanted to know
Because
where we
that's
would
what you
disagree.
are. I don't, I mean, that's what we are. I mean, you could claim, you can whatever.
Brother, you
I don't know
listen, I'm sorry, damn, did I piss on your 4th of July barbecue? You got very animated then. I'm sorry
No, what
if
I'm
I
saying
don't
is that's what we are.
accept a hypocritical so-called citizenship. And I don't believe that no measure of reform will ever give me mastery or power in a corrupt system. I just don't believe it, brother. And there's no amount of passion or vigor you put in your voice that will ever get me to buy into that. That's
You
why
don't
I
have to
wanted
buy.
to know where
It's
you're
not
playing
about buying into anything. It's the reality of what we're dealing with day in and day out. Go out of the country.
You think we're going to come to
go
power?
Out of the country without a
you
passport.
Think we're going to come to power through politics?
In that state, you'll be in power through politics.
Okay, Yanga, what he's saying is that, okay, and I like this concept. He's saying it's a step-by-step process. You got, like I said, the agriculture, you got the businesses, you got government. He's talking about full control over a state. And so in that state, please correct me if I'm wrong, Angel, we have the experience. We're putting in the experience of a functioning, I mean, a nation, a state is part of a nation.
Yes,
so
it is.
Right. So we're dealing with the reality of agriculture, feeding ourselves, running the business, getting along with each other. Maybe if we have a disagreement, going to court and resolving an issue.
Right.
Passing local policy, because you've already said, okay, go ahead, brother.
What I'm saying is we have that outline blueprint, and even to the degree of not just taking these 5 states, but a way to govern ourselves within, to be a nation within a nation until complete independence is realized.
So you guys are saying the same thing.
Not only do we have a plan to go into these states that are still controlled, occupied states by oppressing ruling forces, but within that plan, within the Code of Umoja, which is the Constitution of the Republic of New Africa, is the blueprint to set up districts.
Right.
And those districts teach us a form of Black nationalism that gives us community control, economic empowerment, or an economic plan, or discipline, economic discipline that serves as a infrastructure until we gain that independence.
So you guys are both saying that. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that you and Angel are both saying a training ground, basically I don't like to use the term training wheels, but an actual place where we have get the experience, get our hands dirty, right? And that's what Angel is saying. So we have to have a testing ground. Okay.
But here's what I'm saying to him, and I'm sorry just to be so. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. Is it that he needs a little Captain Crunch hat? Does he need a medal or bar? Does he need to be the founder of something? If we already have something, go ahead.
No, but Angel's saying he wants to see the manifestation of a total control over a state, government, lieutenant governor, mayor, hospitals. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Angel. The goddamn local mortician, the goddamn veterinarian. He's talking about complete control over a state. Right? A functioning control over a state.
Absolutely.
And in that process, we can take it further, but we have the confidence to take over because, like I said, Angel, where's that 1969 Charger? Man, it's not running. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no. I mean, the common sense would tell you, yeah, you got to put work into it. So we're actually talking about, we can actually, the vision of a nation becomes clear because now with the Mississippi campaign, we got people in the trenches getting their hands dirty, literally. So now we can go to that next step because
have that now. That's what I'm saying. We have that now. We have a community right outside of Jackson, Mississippi doing these things now. We have a mayor. We have a city. We have a city in Mississippi already right now. We are expanding that right now. What I'm saying is, why recreate the wheel? That's the point I'm making.
No. I'm not saying we create the wheel, and I'm sure Angel's not saying that too. He's saying expand it further. So you already got that going now. Okay, so the next step, take over the governorship. The next step, take over the local Congress. He's talking about complete control over the whole state. Now, what you're saying, Yanga, is true, right? There's a process. So eventually, Angel wants to see a complete control. And then we can take it to the next state, and then the next state, and the next state. But when it starts with Mississippi, like, how far are we willing to go in Mississippi with this? So, yeah, Yang, it's already there. So what I'm saying, go ahead, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I asked Snubnup what the end game was. And that's what I'm telling you. Everything he's saying, we're doing now. Magnified. It's been in effect since 1968. We've had some of the most brilliant. Queen Mother Moore sat on the board. Robert Williams sat on the board. It is founded off of the theory of Malcolm X when he said we need land.
Right.
We've had brilliant black, not saying you're not smart, Snubnup, but we've had top black theorists sit in office. William Berkeley sat in
so Yanga, how do we
president?
So how do we get to the next step, Yanga? Because the steps don't stop. That's what Angel's saying. The steps don't stop.
What we're doing is, that's why I say we don't recreate the wheel. When I would advise Snubnup to check out what, like he's saying the same thing. Check out an organization that exists and push it.
Angel's end game, please. Right, but my Angel end game, please correct me if I'm wrong, Angel, is eventually his end game, and I hear it, because you know how we get down, Yanga, is complete control over Mississippi.
But through what? Through reform. Like, I agree, but that's where we differed. His end game was complete control of Mississippi through political power.
But okay. Now we stop right there. That's where Angel, I see where the split is. What I'm saying is that both sides can benefit off this. Okay, so Yanga, what you're saying is like, you know what? You have a farther end game. So now Angel has seen his vision, complete control. So now what you're saying is you break off, you have a bigger vision. You're saying, you know what? I want complete separation, but you have now the experience because of Angel's vision of complete control. So now when we have complete control, we have the experience. That's just like me trucking. I'm working for all these different companies. I'm working for this company, that company. I learned trucking. Eventually, I want to get my own truck and my own business, and I veer off and start my own business. But before I got there, I had to work for somebody else. So I hear what you're saying. Eventually, you want your own. So, and I see what Angel is saying. He said complete control. We can benefit off of what Angel's saying, and we can take it even further. Angel is happy.
You're hustling backwards. To use your example, say I got a trucking company that I've been in business 20 years, and then Snubnup comes along. Why would I quit my company, join his company of 2 months? That's what you're saying to me. What I'm telling him is join an organization that his idea is not new. Why wouldn't he join an organization that is pushing that, but has a longer end game?
But because
instead of trying to go ahead.
Because Angel's end game, and you guys haven't reached it yet, because what Angel is saying, there's no complete control over Mississippi. Now I understand the argument of reforming, and I'm saying you don't have to stay there. His vision is complete control. And I see the benefit of that. Now, as a black nationalist, I understand you too, Yanga. You're saying that The Republic of New Africa has a bigger agenda as far as just owning a state. Both of the ideas are good. I you know what I'm saying? Either way, I'm saying with Angels, we still get the experience, but we don't stop at complete control over the nation.
You're missing my point. You're trying to make his point in there that it's really not making sense, son. Listen to what I'm saying.
Let me listen.
If Angel and I have the same objective, complete control of Mississippi.
Okay.
We have that same objective.
Okay.
However, I've been working at it since 1968.
Okay.
And Angel has been working at it for 10 years, 5 years. Why would I stop the momentum I have from 1968? The advancement, the know-how, the membership to push the same shit, the same exact thing in a different form on a smaller scale. Having to rewalk steps I've already taken. Angel Snuff Nut is going to have to go through what the Republic of New Africa already went through 15, 20 years ago.
I got you. So
I'm saying he wants the same thing that the Republic wants, that other group wants. Why wouldn't he join them and use that energy to bring that to fruition? It's the same thing. Is it because it's not our personal idea? I mean, if it's the same shit, and one has been around a lot longer, you know, with no disrespect, Angel, but with a lot more substantiated membership. I mean, Betty Shabazz, Robert Williams, Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a very prestigious pioneership, membership.
Angel, you want to address that? I think he stepped away.
I just wanted to say something real quick. So what I'm gauging is we need some kind of template of control in this country and in this world. The only one that comes to my mind that's currently existing is North Sentinel Island with the Senegalese that have been isolated for 660,000 years, from European invasion, colonialism, imperialism. That is protected island. You come to that island, you die. I've never seen a black person set foot on that island, but every time I see a white person set foot on that island, one of those Christian missionaries or whatever they want to call them, they get murked on sites. So we need something of that caliber here in the States. We should have been classified in a protected class in this country. All these groups, we talk about civil rights, all these groups, besides us, who the bills were originally written for, is benefiting everybody but us. So yeah, we need some kind of control over some kind of nation state, a microcosm, a macrocosm of that. We the other youngest already stated, we already have the blueprints. It's just time to implement the shit. We have all this stuff. You going all the way back to 1968. You know, it's been around since then in Cobra.
Right.
And they have moved us one iota closer to getting reparations, which was their whole function from their inception in 1968, when we were bringing this country to its knees. They had no choice but to sign those civil rights acts and laws, because we were bombing and exploding all kinds of shit all over this country. Like I stated at the very beginning of this, I come from Black Panthers and Garbyites. And I think there's been a misunderstanding on what D1 is really about.
Right.
Because of certain YouTube content creators that have distorted the message. We have not lost sight of Pan-Africanism, all Black liberation all over this planet. We have not lost sight of that. What we're saying is, look, Sue, you're a colonizer. You have CARICOM. You got CARICOM, who is supposed to be getting reparations for the Caribbeans, but they don't include the Black Americans in CARICOM.
Of course not. Of course not.
So,
of course not. That include us.
When foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery, say, look, we have our own claim, we're going to make claim to that, it's a problem for everybody else.
Good point.
Somehow we've differentiated from the main goal, which is Black liberation all across this planet.
Right.
We talking Black nationalism.
Right.
That should be your end goal right there.
Right. And that's why I said, Che, earlier that you got these new booties, these foreigners, and it's like we've already had this fight with the integrationists. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We already had this fight. Yeah.
Black son, it boils down to we know our coons.
Right.
These foreigners, they don't know their coons. And if they do know their coons, they're not checking their coons.
Right.
So got motherfuckers like Fish and what are their names? Fresh and Fit, that said that Black Americans were punk pussy bitches. And it's like, motherfucker, we fought for your people to even have the right to set foot on the soil. If anybody is patriotic, I heard Lex talking earlier, anybody's patriotic, it's foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery. I believe all of us on this call were born in the United States, correct?
Right, absolutely.
Right.
100%, man. And that's why I say that, a lot of us, whether we agree or disagree, and I'm just speaking in general, I'm not talking about us here, we've heard lessons of Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? We heard Ballad of the Bullet. We heard goddamn all types of speeches, and we've learned that.
Black son. Can I speak? Because I'm
yes. I'm sorry.
That's right. What's going on, Nundy?
This shit is crazy. I never thought I would see so many of my people romanticizing the fuckery. Let's start with 1968. Civil rights movement, they had to sign those rights. So what? There were sunset clauses on them. The civil rights movement expired in 1970. What the fuck did a nigga gain from that? Not a goddamn thing. We were already civil. We didn't need Michael Phelps for that. They had dogs, billy clubs, prisons, all type of shit. And this bullshit government that I'm about to get on next that niggas believe in.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't we didn't want to be equal to the white man. How could we be equal to the white man? Them motherfuckers was eating dogs, smelling like shit,
eating each other,
couldn't clean up their own house, running around stealing our women and children. We wasn't wanting to be equal to that type of bullshit, the fuckery. We wasn't equal to the motherfuckers when they started messing with us.
Right.
We had full-fledged control. And they were taking not only our knowledge, but our people and learning from us. So what the fuck did we need to be equal to? We wanted the rights to go back to being who the fuck we were before we were bothered. And I think that's what a lot of people keep forgetting. So fuck Michael King. Now we talking about dual citizenship. Let me explain that since we on laws. You don't need dual citizenship for Mississippi and California because those are states. And we are in the United States of America. So if the states are already united, what the fuck do you need dual citizenship for? Make it make sense. Now, let's roll the tape forward. Take over Mississippi. What difference does it make? When you just gonna become day nigga and you're gonna have to follow your oath and you're gonna be getting that federally funded money and you will switch sides like motherfucker switch dresses when RuPaul come on the goddamn stage just so you can eat with the white man. What the fuck do we need to be taking over states for? We want full-fledged territory. Take y'all motherfuckers back to the cave. And anybody want to be a cave nigga with you? Take them goddamn chimpanzees with you. We got some monkeys out here. We got some gorillas. But we also got some orangutans and some chimpanzees that will bounce and laugh they motherfucking way, cooning like a goddamn fool just to get to the top. We know we got some Booker T. Washingtons, some William O'Neills. We got some goddamn Isaiah Montgomerys. We got a whole lot of them. But let's learn from the examples. You know why those names are mentioned? For some people, they're to be idled. They took over a whole state. A place like Mount Bayou. And some of the same places that y'all talking about taking over today. Like Brother Yanga said, it's been done before. But just like we had cooning ass niggas then that sold out to the white man, took the goddamn funding, didn't tell the black people and the whole black community that we had been sold out and fucked over. Same shit will happen today.
That's it.
Facts.
That's it. Facts.
So, Angel, how do we safeguard against what Nandi just said? Because she said a lot.
Well, first of all, respect to Sister Nandi. I like Sister Nandi. She's all right. She's a very intelligent person. Very logical, rational thinking person.
Hell yeah, she be making plain what I be trying to say. She came on and said everything I said. But go ahead, my bad. Go ahead, break it down.
Yeah, well, I cannot say that what is being said is not true. However, it doesn't make any difference. You can't stop somebody from selling you out. I don't care how militant you think that you are or whatever. A person can be with you, you think your blood brother, and they'll turn on you. I mean, that's just something that we can't, I mean, you can't do that. They'll sell you out for money. They'll sell you out for jealousy and envy. I mean, so that's something that all of us going to have to deal with.
Well, I think what she means by sellout, is looking for some type of freedom in, like she said, in citizenship, in politics. You put your position, we put ourselves in a position to be motherfucking bought and sold. At the end of the day, the only solution.
You want to be bought and sold because that's what you chose to do. We're not.
That's what I just said, brother.
We're not.
That's what I just snuffed up. Listen, you trying to argue with me so bad, you saying the same shit I'm saying. That's what I just said. Go ahead, Nandi. Go ahead, Nandi.
Yeah. So
let me say this. Look, what I mean by that is like when you already. This is what I say about people who are reformists. That's why we got to be careful. When you're a reformist and you actually believe that in a system that has been designed and critiqued to keep my people on the plantation, and it doesn't include the real niggas versus their cooning niggers in their system any goddamn way when it comes to making change. So if you can advocate that, if you can even put yourself in a position of dealing with their contractual agreements, their underlining techniques, breaching of the bribery acts and all the anti-foreign agreement acts and so many different acts, and then you come back talking about constitutions and shit, you just another house nigga.
Yeah,
and converted house nigga. You were on the street revolutionary, and now that you think you in the house, looking at too much goddamn spook on the spook behind the door, you done got in the house, and they done gave you all the oaths where you gotta honor the queen and every goddamn body else. So now you they house nigga. So if you put us in a position to even follow that and enter ourselves into that same position, then what benefit of us taking Mississippi or anything we have for the people? That's what we want you to explain.
Right, and Nandi, to that point, they make you sign a paper that literally says that you will not be convicted of all these crimes. Malfeasance is one of them. Bribery is another one. It's like 10 different crimes that they make you sign whenever you run for political office. You have to get on the ballot, even as a write-in, and you still got to let them know you're doing something. So they make you sign this paper before you even get on the ballot. for whatever state, local constitution for office they're applying for. And they do exactly that. They sell us out, sell us down the drain. They don't want to bring no resources to us, but they're too busy splurging with the whites. Right. So we have to be examples of what not to be, especially on these platforms. We're talking Black nationalism. This isn't in the mainstream. So we're hella radical, all of us on this panel. And I appreciate it because I love these kind of chats. You ain't gonna know. Thank you, Nandy, for joining us. But what it boils down to is we need power.
But let me say this, and I don't mean to cut you out because I got to go work on my debate. I just heard a few things, and I'm like, okay, we got to talk to our people. You know, when we talk about power, I never hear anybody talking about the Federal Reserve Chairman. The Federal Reserve Chairman, the outside government that runs, owns, and actually controls.
You ain't finna do me like that. You not finna listen. You must got another 30, 40 minutes. You not finna drop. You don't want us talking about it because we don't know about it. You not finna drop that shit and then jump off here. Have people coming up here want to talk about it and I don't know what the hell going on. You must gonna spend about 30, 40 minutes with us.
Right.
You go on and drop it, but you're gonna have to answer questions.
You're gonna have to be committed. Nandy, you drop it, you're gonna have to be committed to it.
Hey, people does that shit all the time.
Right.
You do that at meetings and shit.
You do that.
Yes, Chairman, can we talk about the such and such and such and such? Then go off and do something else. Motherfuckers asking me questions. I'm like, well, around. So
I don't see why we don't look at the things that change the way we live. Even when there were so-called ways of us being free, the Federal Reserve Chairman, the federal organization, what we call the IRS, is what's controlling the world. They make your money. They taking your money. They control your jobs. They control your spending. They control your children. They control your mamas. They control the schools. They control the hospitals. The feds got fiat currency floating all the way the fuck around America like never before. Inflation is at its finest. I heard a nigga say today fiat currency was worth something. Country dumbass nigga, how the hell paper worth something when you could rip it or drop it in some goddamn bleach and it's gone. And ain't a damn thing.
Shout out to the debate,
it's backed by the government. So okay, it's backed by the government. That means National Guard gonna pull up with them ratchets and shit and make sure you give them their goddamn cut, or they take all what you don't work hard for. So my house belongs to you because I didn't want to give you 10% of my shit. One thing that I did study very closely about Donald Trump, and it's something that people should pay attention to. He's never, out of all of this shit, so-called indictments and stuff, been penalized, arrested, or anything taken for tax evasion. But he's the only president that spoke about he never paid taxes. His family never paid taxes. Nobody ever asked why. Because the federal government and the Federal Reserve Chairman is a private entity that only you can enter into a contractual agreement with. So when niggas running and filing their taxes every year, that's how they keep up with you. That's the first contract you enter with your income tax. Then you're gonna go run down and you got a job. Now they ask you the first thing they gonna do before you can work for them is, can you fill out this tax form? We need to know if you exempt or if you got some dependents. This is the contractual agreement. It's a side contract from the jobs.
Yep.
But when you owning and controlling everything without the federal government, now let's just say we had Mississippi without it. We decide what the currency is. We decide the value. We decide if we want to hold people's motherfucking state taxes and federal taxes and their medical taxes, and we just want to withhold the 501. All of that shit right there be cut out because it's all connected to the Federal Reserve. And one false move on one of them payments, they coming to take your whole life. So nobody, we always talking about freedom and we need to get broke from this and broke from that. The president, again, KRS-One told you, that motherfucker like the manager at Burger King.
Yep.
So we want to holler at the franchise owner, which is the Federal Reserve Chairman. This motherfucker, and the president elects the Federal Reserve Chairman. But like KRS-One even taught him, and you can do your own research after that. That's who run every goddamn thing, because the government cannot be ran without a major accountant, which is the Federal Reserve Chairman. The contract between them and the government, United States, is, okay, you give us all this fiat currency, and we'll let you keep up with it.
That ain't even worth the paper it's printed on. The dollar's like 13% right now, if not lower.
They burn millions of it every day, so that means they don't care. If it was worth it, I guarantee you this: they ain't burning no motherfucking gold and shit every day. They might be making bars, coins and shit so they can store it, but they not doing that. They got armored trucks full of this shit that they just set on fire and turn it into ashes because it ain't worth a damn thing. They don't want it to pile up. They just using it as a game. We gonna fuck the black people because they think when they got these blue notes, everything Gucci, while we sitting over here getting all the goddamn gold. And like H. Rap Brown told us years ago, once we flip this shit over, when they hit Bitcoin, or when we say goddamn, you know, you can't go to Kroger's unless you got some rocks. We need you to have all black rocks. Like H. Rap Brown said, niggas ain't gonna even be able to eat because they don't know that damn commodity from fiat. They don't know the real from the fake. And this is what they finna do right now. That's why they taking it slow out of our hand. Moving the money slow out of our hand. And they take states. What we gotta do is quit begging. These motherfuckers ain't bought that. Why we gotta go? And we ain't taking nothing right because they didn't take nothing in our government that was established. They took shit and formed their own goddamn government and put us in it.
Facts.
To my damn states, many niggas done fought. They took took states and little cities. Let's talk about Rosewood, Black Wall Street. We been doing that, but look what them motherfuckers do because it's their government. So what they gonna do?
Right.
Come take all our shit. Not until we got the power to tell you what currency is. We ain't in no position to be talking about taking a damn thing. Shit, we gotta give us the licenses and the land, and we gotta go over here and make sure, Trump ain't gonna get upset if we fly too many red, black, and green flags, and that's too many goddamn rules and regulations. We can have Mississippi, but we don't want to see nothing referencing Marcus Garvey.
I think that's the point. You know, I think that's the point for the revolutionary. Is to push these motherfuckers into a fight. Push these motherfuckers so bad where they say, God damn it. And they just can't take it no more. You know. But you were dropping. Let me say this too. Let me say this, man. Shouts out to SVDL, Solar Division Debate League. Its debaters never send a shout out to his commissioner. So that shouts out as a debate in the league, my endorsing the league and all its debaters. Now, on to personal. My man was robbed. My man was fucking robbed.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Here we go.
The post-debate show where I can figure out what the fuck happened with the scoring. Wow. Oh, man, come on. Boo.
Oh shit.
Boo.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Shit.
That's on the personal note. Still support the league. I'm hoping what it is just a matter of the new judges working out the kinks. Getting there.
But yeah, how long we gotta wait for the kinks to be worked out? How long we gotta wait for the kinks to be worked out, brother? Because the deadline for the goddamn playoffs is April. How long we gotta wait for the Kings to work out, brother?
Well, we shall see after the post-debate show.
Okay.
I'm sure a few people have some things to say. I'm sure Strap's gonna challenge some shit.
He better. Shout out to Strap. He better.
Shout out.
Yeah, I thought Strat won that. I'm just gonna keep it real, brother. And that's not on no malice towards the other debater, but yeah, I thought Strap was very professional. And considering he ain't debated in 2 years,
I the malice on the other debater. Fuck that fat ass nigga.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go.
Boom, and there you have it.
I'm being nice to you, hoe ass, bitch ass, train ass nigga.
Hey,
That's why that thing shit sweet, cause everybody keep playing with their ass.
True that.
Yeah.
True that. True that.
Shit, yeah.
True that.
We already know. We already know the sentiment in the film. He talk about all that bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I said for the record.
Talk about it, though. I did want to still touch on while I'm on here for a little bit this topic because it was inspired by, you know how those Lifetime stories say inspired by a true life incident. Yes. This was inspired by a true life incident by Sister Empress, who I believe is from the UK, right? And I don't know what the fuck happened, or I don't know what happened on Nundy's show. I don't know. She made reference. So since we're on my show and I can speak directly to what she made reference to me, I don't know what she was referring to when she said there was an incident. Someone yelled at her on my show when she had to answer the question. A lot of yada yada. I gave the main spiel last time where I said this. Anyone who has listened to me, it's hard to find anything I've done, and I've been doing this for years, where I will really personally attack someone because I don't give a fuck about anyone like that. I really don't care about anyone enough to dig information up or to have some personal feeling to where it just moves me to the degree where I have to just go at them like some savage. No. What I do, I love my people, and I know that my people are susceptible to bullshit. I know my people have been, and I really feel like I'm a shepherd of the people whom I belong to. And I know that from time immemorable, we've had motherfuckers passing off bullshit as solutions to the very real Black trauma and problems we face as a people.
Right.
So if we
we lost Yanga.
Oh shit. Yeah, he'll probably be back on, man. But yeah, man. Man, this was a good show, man. I loved it, man.
So able to partake in it.
Yeah, me too, man. You know, and when Nundy jump on here, it's always gonna be fire.
Oh yeah,
yeah, man. So shout out to the first lady, Sister Nandy. Shout out to Che. Shout out to Seduction Doll. Hopefully Yang will be back on. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Emily, Sister Emily. What is going on? Oh, Angel, Sunshine, hey, the rest of y'all, everybody, anybody I missed in the chat, hey, appreciate this. Crystal. And Yami, hey, I didn't see you in Yami. Damn, you're always welcome to jump on the panel, bro. Darlene Mohammed, like I said, if I missed anybody. Oh, Jesse, Paris, yeah, man. Anybody I missed, man. This, okay, I think we got Yanga back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got him back. Think we got Yanga back. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's fire show. And y'all know it's still another debate coming up tonight. Sister Holly against the Christian rapper, Rio. So that should be interesting. I don't know the title, but yeah, y'all support that. That's going to be a good debate. And then Nundy has a debate coming up with KOT.
Yeah.
Two of Atlanta's finest. They both from the hometown. God damn, yo.
Yeah. We have a show.
And she's debating. Yeah, and okay, go ahead, Yang. I'm sorry.
Yang.
No, I was just wishing the sister good luck. Go ahead. Finish out your statement, brother, please.
We have a show tonight, Frontline Black News at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Make sure you check us out. Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. And also check out the Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube.
Cool. Absolutely. Frontline Black News, the Revolutionary Agenda. Check them out. Our affiliates, man. And I appreciate Che them, Che, for stopping on, you know that, and everybody that rocks on this panel. But I wanted, if I could continue what I was saying about the whole incident. So what happens is, what I find is, you know, I have to always question myself. Is it that I'm not used to, I'm not going to say foreign blacks, because hey, I lived in a Somalian community. I'm around very different type of black people. I will say maybe black people from the UK. Mm-hmm. Is it that, to me, the UK is the personification of Eurocentrism, of whiteness? And when I hear that accent, even though I know these are black people, it just puts me in the mind of Eurocentricism. It puts me in the mind of Europe. And so, even though I know these are black people and it isn't an intentional divide, so when they get mad, like when she told Nundy, no, Nundy, you will listen to me. I don't hear a black woman, but I hear a chastise. I hear the queen.
Right.
I hear fucking Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
When I hear my man EJ speak, he probably cool in a motherfucker.
But Nundy checked that.
He probably cool as hell. But I hear James Bond. I hear fucking James Bond. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and one of the reasons is, and so I wonder if that's me, or is it because they are UK, because they are British Negroes, do they have a certain air of arrogance like the European British is known to carry? Is that just a part of their demeanor? One of the things I would like to see more of is the British black people share more of their revolutionary struggle, because we don't know enough of it. What I do know of it, I know that the little aspect I know of it, I know that it was influenced by the Black Panthers. So the aspect of British resistance, I know to be influenced by us. Every other thing I know is white supremacy and rock, skinheads and rock music. Mm-hmm. So there's not this major connection I really feel with them. And like I said, or is it, do they carry an audacity, an air? And with all of that being said, I think that they should have, just like if I go over there, I must develop a certain callous to national politics, to national attitude, to culture and shit. Everybody comes and shits on the Black American or the Black African over here, Black African in America, thinking that we must conform to their way of thinking or their way of acting. You know, people really come and try to tell us how to behave or how we should engage in a liberation struggle. I'm not saying this is what Empress did. I am saying that I feel like I'm surprised at her response. Right. And so I had to question, was it a disconnect I have for Britons as seeing all of that damn near being the seat of Europe to me? Or do they, the Negroes over there carry a certain air about themselves naturally?
I want to say this. Devanya came over there with that bullshit, but because she's an elder, she was doing that slick dish shit. Even went to as far as calling them just me. I don't know if you're a man or a woman. Like, what the fuck? She was doing some real sneak dissing, you know. And like I said, I was on the attack because she kept ignoring Blue. Blue clearly said Whoopi should be the standard of beauty. Didn't say nothing about who Whoopi dates. Didn't say nothing about her working for the Jews. Didn't say, we just simply said the standard because most black women, and Just Me did say this, fits the genotype of Whoopi Goldberg. Now, he did say one of the standards, because let's just keep it real, Yanga. The light-skinned women have a standard, and all Blue was saying, and I wish Blue would come on here, is that the black women are getting lighter and lighter. That's what he was saying. So he's saying, look, there should be a standard for, now he didn't say it exactly, but I saw where he was coming from, and I see where you come, because like I said, we dealt with King Noble, Black Supremacy. Shout out to King Noble. He was saying that light-skinned women already have a standard. To a sense, the mixed women have a standard already. And so if you say this is a standard of black women, okay, Whoopi Goldberg, we're saying like, okay, so because you're not now in 2021, people calling Kamala Harris a black woman. They're like, hell no. If I seen Kamala Harris on the streets, I wouldn't call her a black woman. I'd be like, where is she from? What is she mixed with? Like, no, I don't think of a black woman when I see Kamala Harris, just like Barack Obama. I'd be like, what part of Africa is he from? The Somalian? Yeah, I don't see a black man. So
now be honest. Be honest.
I'm being honest.
You know, if you saw Barack Obama chilling out the building, smoking one of his Newports and shit, not no politician, just sitting outside the building, chilling with his pants hanging off his ass and shit, you would say Barack Obama was black.
No, Yanga, he looks mixed to me.
Man.
No, bro. He would look mixed to me, bro. I'm trying to tell you, he looks like
he looks like a
Somali.
Don't think mix people up. So you still categorize? Come on, bro. I don't know. Because I grew up in the Midwest, and I'm gonna be honest. Most mixed people are black. In as far as social classification, where I'm from, we don't, unless you light bright, damn near can pass for white, and categorize yourself as white, you are black. Mixed played out in 1984.
Right. But what I'm saying is that the standard of beauty, as generations go along, the goalpost keeps being moved. It keeps being moved. Like we keep finding black women with green eyes, or black women.
I disagree.
No? Okay. All right. I'm
gonna tell you why. I look at the show. What's that one show? How to Get Away with Murder. I mean, you look at, we really are Black Girl Magic. We really are taking a lot more control of the narrative.
No, I agree now.
Yeah,
I agree now. But back. Okay, so I think Tyra Banks helped revolutionize that in a lot of ways. I want to say Tyra Banks, Nona Gay, the one Prince used to date, and I want to say who else? Hell, even Kelly, from goddamn Destiny's Child. So before then, it was the Vanessa Williams, it was the goddamn Apollonia, it was the goddamn even Vanity, man. It was like looking really light at one point. You know what I'm saying? So
it was
that was
Horns.
Huh?
It was Delena Horns.
Yeah, that was the standard. So it was like, okay, so yeah, we did progress and evolve. And like I said, the darkest woman I ever seen was Nona Gay. In as far as like when I seen her, I was like, oh, that's it right there. So, and then again, when I used to watch Arsenio Hall, and I saw Whoopi on the show, not wearing no worn out slave clothes, but just done up, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, so I do understand Blue's argument on the standard, meaning, but you said same thing, Yanga. We have many standards of beauty.
That's my point.
No, I agree, and I don't disagree with it. I think
my point is, I don't want to be so shook by white supremacy that I limit our aesthetics, that I limit what we would classify beauty in a knee-jerk reaction to white supremacy.
Okay, I will say that.
When you talk about light skin being a standard, now dark skin, because beauty is like that. Beauty is a fad.
Right.
We
So
put way too much. Yeah, today is light, tomorrow's dark.
No. You okay, what you're saying, I agree with you. I think we should have many standards of beauty. I don't think it should just be one. So I agree with what you're saying about that one standard, because somebody gonna feel like they're like, God damn, now my light skin sisters are feeling a type of way. No, there should be a standard, a spectrum. And I think the light skinned women, the brown skinned women, mocha skinned women, even down to the brown and blue black sisters, it should be a standard for all of them, is what I'm saying. So nobody gets left out. So what you and Blue, I see what you're arguing was that one standard. I'm saying no, have a bunch of standards. Hell, black women, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. And that's what I was saying yesterday, but everybody was talking and I was like, okay, but yeah, there should be many standards. But what I'm saying is that the black woman, that's okay. Whoopi Goldberg may not be the one, but her complexion should be the standard for if you say black woman, and then you should have a brown skin woman, and then a light skin, a red bone.
I see what he was saying.
Okay,
I got totally what he was saying. I still just disagreed as a black African from America. Our diversity, the different complexions, to me is to be celebrated. Mm-hmm. I think that attitude, one, is a very cultural nationalist attitude. The closer to Africa, the better. It's that type of attitude. You know, it's very cultural nationalist. And then secondly, it penalizes us for crimes that we didn't have a choice in. And it says the results of that are forever bad or should never be upheld to beauty. Then thirdly, it says that the white man by default can set our standard because he likes light complected, or because he said this is beauty, all of a sudden I can't like it. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, what happens if he start liking black women? Dark complected women. Is that going to switch it then? Should we hold the extra light complected women the standard of beauty? There again, we're giving the colonizer the power to control our social cultural fucking norms. Because he says this is beauty, we got to go to the complete opposite extreme. And I just don't think that is psychologically healthy. I know culturally it's destructive because there again, it alienates, isolates, denigrates, exploits, ostracizes everything that this fucking colonizer brings with him. It leaves in our community. That's what that type of thinking brings. It's the master race. It's the master race theory in reverse.
But does that still apply if you have multiple?
I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. You know, I gotta work on my stuff for tomorrow, but I appreciate y'all having me on the show.
All right,
thank you, Queen.
Thank you for coming on.
Peace, you guys.
Danny, tell everybody what time your debate is before you go.
I think it's at 6.
On what channel?
SVDL. Solar Vision Debate League. SVDL.
Tell us the title and your opponent. Nandi, don't leave us hanging now.
Was Martin Luther King one of the reasons for integration? And of course, I agree with he was.
Damn, KOT taking a hard stance. But oh yeah, we're not gonna miss that, Nandi. Damn, KOT, what the hell? Woo, that's gonna be a good one.
Well, these grandkids coming in, you guys. I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
All right. We'll say thank you, Nandi.
Peace.
Boom. All right, y'all. Shoot.
All right. So before we go, I really hope I cleared up a lot of things about what B1 is about and not about. Like I said, check us out tonight at 10 p.m. Frontline Black News. We're going live. And where are you buying supporters at? You need to call Shabaka at 516-418-5996. And yeah.
I want to touch base on this colorism shit real quick.
We're going to touch on colorism real quick. Go ahead, babe.
I personally am through with the discussion of it. It's comical to me. It is almost a pointless topic, especially when we talk about black nationalism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want, like when you bring up the standards for what the media and the fucking the magazines and what everybody is putting up, it is designed to really upset women, to make them feel bad no matter what shape, form, color, shade they are in. Anything you look at in the magazine is designed to make a woman feel like shit or not enough. Um, in my personal belief, as light as I am, I know that I'm black, and I know that I'm black first. I know that I'm mixed. I know I can't change that. I know that I can't acknowledge the oppressive sides of me. I've lived 41 fucking years acknowledging it, and it's confused me to where I had to make a subtle, me personally, Brandy Marie Majors, the seduction doll, Brandy Look, whatever you want to call me, has made a personal decision to stick with one side and one side only, for the lack of not having confusing conversations amongst my more amongst my sisters, whether they're more melanated, darkly obsidian melanated, it doesn't matter. Everybody around me is darker than I am. I happen to be like the only person in the whole crew of fucking like 50 friends that is this color. Um, and I have to look at some days where I used to be conflicted. I used to be conflicted to know that I was like out of everybody I've seen, I used to think I was the lightest motherfucker on the planet. And then I just decided to come with the correct version of I am whatever my father was. I couldn't help that some of my features weren't as Africanesque or whatever. I decided that all of that shit, me personally, I decided all of that shit was just another way to keep me conflicted within the natural essence of myself. So when I participate in these conversations as of late, some of these conversations that we have anywhere are designed to upset my shade if I would have let it upset that. Once that had happened, I suffered a great loss because I'm an analytical thinker. So when I look at things and it's described in the form of colorism versus, the light skinned it is the most attractive to the dark skinned. The dark, and I look at it and I analyze it and I rip it apart and I take it apart. That kind of thing had caused me to suffer a great fucking loss, meaning the loss of a child, because I stressed myself out so hard about it that it was an uncontrollable thing for me, to where I had to question not only myself but everyone around me, because it's designed to do that. Is designed kind of conversations are designed to separate people like us from people like you, and then it causes more separation, and it's not really fucking helpful. And in essence, what happened was it causes the stress of that to lose something so valuable unnecessarily. You know what I mean? So now I figure like these conversations are comical. There's nothing that anybody can do to change the shading of their fucking skin or the fucking vessels that they came into the world in. All these magazines, all these politicians, all these people that represent black on the news media, in essence, they're designed to upset us. They're designed to cause us confliction within ourselves. We look at them and be like, oh well, you know, they're light skinned motherfuckers. Look at the dark skinned motherfuckers and be like, God, they're so pretty. The dark skinned motherfuckers look at them like, oh, they just steal everything. Or they're just responsible for the pillaging of our men, and that's why we can't be black, and everything's black. Come on now, man. If you think about it, it's been like that. There's like 48 fucking shades of black.
Right.
Vanilla. It started out as a black bean. You feel me? Now it turns into vanilla, it turns into this shade. But we're gonna be crucified for all of that, let alone the more melanated you are, the more crucified you are, the more hunted you are. It's designed that way to keep us separated, to keep us apart, to keep us tearing at each other, to keep us nitpicking at each other. and there's no real growth or unification. So then we can't talk about fucking beautiful things such as Black nationalism. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
there's a loss or two, where in my case, I lost a child because I
exactly.
that shit too much.
Mhm.
Well, that's one of the reasons that we have, you know, and I love you being on the panel, and we come on and do what we do is because we have to make the distinction. As Black nationalists, we have to come out and we have to bash bullshit. We have to be able to present Black nationalism in its purest form. And because you're going to have people who, even though they're sincere, like my little partner Blue, hold on one moment. My little partner Blue, who presented an awesome ass argument on his stance, who I believe in my heart of hearts intentions are well, and I believe have the makings to be a tremendous Black nationalist, but in his zest and zeal to establish Black pride and Black progression to push us forward, he doesn't really understand Black supremacy, neocolonialism, knee-jerk reactions, reactionaryism, and shit like that. So he's saying the first thing that sounds good. And like when you get hit, and if you don't know how to fight, the first thing you do is swing back. You know what I'm saying? But if you know how to fight, you get in your stance, you look at your opponent's stance, you know what you're going to hit them with next. So we've been hit with the Eurocentric standard of beauty. And the knee-jerk reaction is to do what we do, neocolonialism, to do the complete opposite of the oppressor. Okay, so if lily white blonde hair is your beauty, then Black as a boot with kinky hair is our beauty. And that we don't understand that's not healthy thinking. Not only is it Black supremacy, not only is it the master race theory, it's neocolonialism to a degree because it is only Black face and white place. It is only the mirror image of an already fucked up system. It's not going to work just because Black people, we can't. That's what kills me about us. We swear everything works because we do it.
Yeah.
I say, well, you know, what about the Jews, this and that? And you look at they state, well, it don't work because they're not the original Jews.
They're not following the commandments.
It don't work because they the original. Well, we think if we put our Black ass in something, that's their magic elixir. So, you know what I'm saying?
See, brother, you're not following the laws and statutes.
Yeah, see, brother, we have to be careful. So it's a real challenge to think outside the box. It's a real challenge not to automatically swing back. Okay, like I said, okay, this is your standard of beauty. Naturally, automatic, this is my standard. Not taking into consideration the whole plight of the Black African here in America, which even though how we got to these wonderful shades, how we got to the various, you know, different body types and shit we are, some of it may have been voluntary, some involuntary, some may have been romantic, some may have been horrific. Nonetheless, we are here. And we can't romanticize a African beauty to the point that it totally alienates and erases us as a continuation of the African saga and a people. All of us don't look like that, and it's okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There is no one type. We ain't the Kushite. We ain't the Mizzo type and the Bebo type and shit. We some different other fucking type. I know we want to be all of these people. They have a nice culture wrapped up already. They got a history already written for you. They got a dress code. They got a diet already. They got all the shit. All we got to do is just move into the house. Bring your black ass in.
Like they doing the Afghanis.
Yeah.
Like they doing the
all
Afghanis.
of that. Muslims, all of that stuff. That's all we got to do. All you got to do is move in. They got it laid out. You know, the black nationalist says we have to forge out self-determination.
Yeah.
We have to forge out our identity, forge out our destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're running from. So even though we mean sincere, I would say that even in when we start talking about these standards of beauty, I challenge that some hold a romantic, ancient African standard. And it's not practical or realistic to the very diverse array of black women. Because shit, I'm a black man, all black men.
Right.
You know, I'm not a 6 foot tall, 250-pound, raging muscle, bald-headed, ebony, sculpted mandingo. What the hell? I talked to King. Listen, for all of y'all buying into that, talk to King Noble. He would change your fucking mind about that shit.
He's still around?
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, Seduction, me and you, we in trouble.
Oh, yeah. I don't subscribe to those views. I look at even now with in the last maybe I'd say less than 10 years, they started putting more melanin. I'm just gonna put it like that. More melanated sisters online, as far as in the news and whatnot, right? If you look at these broads do not represent a normal woman on the street. These broads are not the fucking representation of that. No woman looks like that. Those mark ass broads that run the news. Okay, no, that. No, women are different. Like even you look at all these magazines. First of all, a real woman is not gonna be a stick fucking figure. She might have
absolutely
right. Normal sized woman. Okay,
say Seduction. Hold that thought 1 second. Let me send this out to chat because I'm gonna get off in a minute. Angel Snupnup. Next time I get on, brother, hey, you more than welcome to get on because I'll challenge that. You say modern day black nationalism is nothing but a form of religion filled with beliefs and racial supremacy narrative, just like the Peckerwood. I'm gonna challenge that, brother, because I want to know what you think modern day black nationalism is. I don't know if you even know what classical black nationalism is. So I would love to hear your take on modern day black nationalism and how you think, because I can go to Malcolm X and kill that right there. Malcolm X said, put your religion in your pocket.
Yeah, he sure did. We was just
Malcolm said that. And he's the father of what you would call modern day black nationalists. So I really gave you the answer, but he's the father of what you would call modern day or revolutionary black nationalism. And even he said religion has no place here. He cleaned it up from Marcus Garvey and everybody that came before. Martin Delaney and everybody who came before who made references to the religion, even Martin Delaney.
Yeah.
Malcolm came in and evolved and brought us out of that. So yeah, next time I'm on, definitely come to the panel.
And this is from a Muslim, a devout Muslim.
Yeah. So I that statement, I can clearly see that that wasn't a well thought out statement or not a very studious statement. Because like I said, there again, to reiterate the point, and I'm taking that from Black Sun. Black Sun had dropped that on someone one time before. He was like, Malcolm is the father of modern day black nationalism. And even he said, put your religion up. And I went so far as to say, yeah. And that's how you have like atheists and everybody. Yeah. Malcolm opened up black nationalism for all participation of black people. And really, and they will say Marcus did, but Marcus still held to that God view.
He did.
Malcolm in the Organization of African American Unity was purely political, social, cultural understanding. And that's why meaning in the interaction and the best interest of black people.
And that's why after Malcolm, there was this burst called the Black Panther Party, especially on the West Coast. If it wasn't for Malcolm, there would have been that burst. Like, people don't understand the UNIA was only on the East Coast or during the South. It wasn't on the West Coast until Malcolm came on the scene. And he said, put your religion in the pocket. In fact, now they're showing clips where Martin Luther King came to LA and they're like, man, we don't want that dang turn the other cheek here. They're just now showing that in 2022 on the internet. I'm like, damn. Yeah, that's something I've been told Yang. I was like, yo, we were never down with Dr. King.
I remember that.
In the West Coast. Yeah, man, we were straight Malcolm X. We were straight goddamn. You got to understand, a lot of us come from the goddamn gangbanging culture. But let me let Sunshine, I know she just hopped on here. But yeah.
Hey, Sunshine.
We all do on this.
Hey everyone. I was actually just enjoying listening to y'all. I wasn't even gonna say nothing. I was just gonna listen. I just was saying down in the chat, I know I'm light skinned and all that. My father was even lighter than me, and he was still taken out. And I'm just now finding out one of the off-duty officers that shot him, which my family kept this from me. One was Caucasian, the other one was actually a chocolate dude.
Wow.
But his color he represented was blue, if you know what I mean.
There you go. Yep.
And so that's the color that I think we all should be worried about more so than light skin, dark skin. But I want to also add that I understand exactly where Nandy was coming from yesterday, as well as the other sisters that were up there. And I wanted to add my experiences. I had typed them out. I don't know what you guys saw. I know you guys are limited for time, but I just wanted to add that I know what it's like to be called the N-word by a bunch of white dudes in a pickup truck driving by. I know what it's like to have them stop their truck and think they're about to get out and snatch me up until they saw my boyfriend with me. I know what it's like to have them to throw a cherry bomb at me and call me a nigger. I'm trying not to say nothing. NB, you know. And then I went to an academy where there was only a handful of us that were melanated. They didn't want us there in the first place, if you know what I mean, because you're not supposed to be as smart as them, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to be able to afford to go to those schools, supposedly. But we were like outdoing them. My Playbig sister was melanated that went to that academy, and she had above a 4.0. Okay, so she was even outdoing me, you know what I mean? But we had to sit there and listen to their music during lunch. It became a whole big old thing, you know, at that school. So even in high school, even in grade school, I've you know, and then like I said, as a little girl, I think I mentioned before, the same, I suspect the same officer that killed my father did in fact come after me, as well as a Caucasian one officer, and I was a little bitty girl. So I know what it's like to have officers try to kick in my mom's door, you know, to females, you know what I'm saying? So I think I definitely understand where Nandy is coming from, and everybody else that was on the panel yesterday. I thought it was a great show. I thought everyone made some great points. And I also agree that we need to all come together, because that's the beautiful thing about us, that we do come in different colors, shapes, and sizes. The melanated woman's ovaries are beautiful, and they can create some wonderful things, you know. And I think we want to keep in mind that some of our men and women that have come across fighting for us have been different shades. You know, let's not forget that. I believe Brother Malcolm would be considered lighter, right?
Red. Yep.
Key point. Malcolm, Huey, Angela Davis,
right?
Eric Huggins,
so
John Huggins.
Let's not forget that.
George
but then let's also not forget that what Nandy was saying is true. Darker skinned women do in fact face not being desired by certain men with certain mentality. And at the same time, we as lighter skinned girls or women, however you want to look at it, may be subjected to a little bit of anger because they're being treated a certain way. And, you know, it's kind of looked at like, well, you're the one, you know, sometimes that happens where the lighter skinned girl may be considered the problem when in fact it's not us. It's the media. It's people who, like you guys are saying, that's the house Negro. It's people who think they are better. They'll claim certain stuff. I remember when I was little, I got Indian in my family, and I remember that everybody was claiming Cherokee. And I'm like, Cherokee is a $5 Indian. It's actually the real ones were Cherokee. It wasn't even Cherokee, it was Cherokee. But okay, you know, but this is what happens when you have people that are living up under someone else's system. They turn on themselves. When you have a group of people that turn on themselves, they stay at work while everyone else capitalizes off of their confusion and their distractions and their disconnection from not only each other, but from who they are as a people and where they really came from and what they're capable of. So I understand where Nandy is coming from. And I just wanted to also say, I had typed down there that I thought one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen was Grace Jones. I mean, you guys mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And I used to watch, when I was little, I watched Conan like 100 times just because she was in that movie. And she represented something that I have yet to see again until I think they said something about it was in the Black Panther movie a few years ago. I have not watched that movie yet still, but I had not seen a Black chocolate, beautiful, tribal warrior woman wearing her tribal cultural assets. I had not seen it, and I was so surprised to see that in that movie as a child, and I was just absolutely just loving it. You know what I mean? I ate that all the way up, and I still think Grace Jones is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life, and she looks nothing like me. And I think she's beautiful. I think Whoopi Goldberg is beautiful as well. Very beautiful woman, and I love her high cheekbones, by the way. And but there's a lot of beautiful women out there. So I know you guys got to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here.
Yeah.
But thank you very much, and I just wanted to add that. And let's all unite,
thank you,
because
Sunshine.
we got a common enemy, and it is not light skin, dark skin. It is mentality first.
And
that is our most mentality. Then we got the enemy on the outside of that mentality. You guys have a great evening. Point. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sunshine. And you're welcome to hang out until we close it. You don't have to get off the panel. But that's my point. You know, is that my point is that I don't want to see us have a knee-jerk reaction. I think everybody that was on the panel the other day, their stories were, some of them were terrible, some of them were, funny, humorous, but all of them were concerning, because it is a very real, this colorism, this caste system that this oppressor has created within our community is very real. And the effects of it is real. Like you said, even down to quite possibly being physically attacked for no other reason than your complexion. And I think that it is the responsibility of the conscious Black nationalists, the intentional, purposeful Black nationalists, to draw awareness to that. And drawing awareness to that is by showing that we don't want to have ideologies or doctrines, dogma so extreme that in the future it will hurt us as a people. It goes back to a little bit like I was trying to tell. I understand what Snup Nup was saying. Like I'm saying, we have, what is the end game? A lot of times, like, I get what he's saying about the Mississippi, same way they're saying about color being the Black being the standard of beauty. But I'm always pointing out, to me, those are knee-jerk reactions. Those are Tylenol. Those are Band-Aid on something that needs sutures. You know what I'm saying? And so when we look to the end game, of, and I'm not in my conclusion, not to be long-winded, of this standard of beauty. I go back again, and I will reiterate it. I believe that it can be dangerous because it is the master race theory in reverse. And like I said, I talk to me, whom I would hold to be a premier black supremacist, like he looked me dead in my face and said on no uncertain terms that it does set up an inferiority chain with light complex, with the lighter you are, the bottom of that chain. And that in that hierarchy, the darker you are, the more rewards and advancements you would get. I mean, I know this is extreme black nationalism, but it starts with right there setting the standard of beauty. And if you think I'm bullshit, didn't Hitler start out with a master race theory that it was, and he didn't even put that in effect. It was just the ultimate European was blonde and blue eyed, and he didn't even have that.
Hey, if you're gonna sit up there and mention about the master race, don't forget about the master race diet, which he had discussed with goddamn Jesse Owens. Don't forget about that. I'm not gonna let that slide there.
Yeah, and on that note,
Black Sun with that diet. I just want to say something. I just want to say something real quick. I said they threw cherry bombs at me. I wanted to correct myself. They actually threw cocktail bombs, lit cocktail bombs at me.
Damn.
Walking as a melanated female by myself. I said cherry bombs. Cherry bombs don't compare to cocktail bombs. I meant cocktail bombs. And also, I also want to say, Black Sun, you are right on that diet thing. Stay on them with that. And also, I wanted to just add one more thing. You had Brother Seven up there from, I believe he's actually from St. Louis. We are still finding men hanging regardless of light skin or dark skin. Keep that in mind. They are still being found hanging in St. Louis yearly. Okay, and I don't think there's a discrimination between dark or light skin. I just want to add that. And you guys have a blessed evening. Thank you.
I love you for that. Thank you, Sunshine, because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Everything else is diversionary. Everything else is a reason for us not to address the real enemy and fall out with ourselves. I think on this so-called colorism, and I'm gonna be done with it. I'm like Doll at that point, and they fell off. That, you know, we've a point that was made, I think you made it, Sunshine. Too many people of lighter hue, light complected people have contributed to the liberation movement at the end of the day based on black nationalism, and that is the mistreatment, suppression, or oppression of black people. Anything else is escapism. When we start getting into some you call yourself black anywhere, more, all of that is to escape the very real treatment and condition that we face at the hands of the oppressing ruling class. And I believe, in concluding this and getting ready, that black nationalism is the solution. And the gist of black nationalism, like we find out there again from Martin Delaney, is what is in the best interest of black people. And even he went back and forth with, I think my next live, I'm going to do the two black nationalisms.
Oh, that should be fire.
He went back and forth with classical black nationalism and pragmatic black nationalism, which many of us do. But with finding, what that is finding empowerment within the system as a community that, you know, kind of self-governs within a larger governed system, meaning black enclaves in the United States are complete separation. And you're finding his writings, his wavering and going back and forth in this. And we reserve that right as a black nation to debate these things, to come, you know, to discuss and analyze these type of things. And that's what this is about. But I think that that's necessary to go back to the beginning, because like I said, what's happening is a lot of things are being paraded and put in front of us as Black nationalism. A lot of energies and efforts are used to entrench them and sustain them. Peace. Peace, everybody in chat. Thank you, Snub Nut, for coming on, brother, too, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
no
sir.
doubt.
Shout out to Angel.
Trey and fam, definitely peace. So just saying that, I'm definitely gonna go through that because there are too many distractions. These people are getting away with too many distractions, and that comes from us not knowing the elementary roots. So what I want to do is start us at the elementary roots and then start to walk us through it. Introduce us to the pioneers, introduce us to the predecessor of Black nationalism, and invite what Black nationalism does. Invite your opinions, critiques, criticisms, your, all of those things, as long as it's for the fruition of Black power. Because Black nationalism is pure democracy. Black nationalism is an assembly. Black nationalism is all inviting. Black nationalism encourages the participation because Black nationalism is self-determination, and nobody can determine your future but your ass. So Black nationalism, have at it. Have at it, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we're going to bring that to you because there's a lot going on here, and a lot of you are being duped. It sounds like us. It even a lot of instances look like us. But believe me, it isn't us.
Me, Solomon Grundy, me take care of Super Friends.
You say what?
Me, Solomon Grundy, me take care of Super Friends. That's an inside joke for y'all. If y'all
inside joke.
If y'all familiar with Superman, y'all should be familiar with
Brother Yang, I'm sorry, I have to ask this one more thing.
Yes.
This is to anybody that's on the panel, anybody in the chat. I know Sister Nandy has been working on her debates and stuff right now. I'm sure she's going to get around to it, but I just want to let you know I did write down that book that you suggested for me to look up, and I would like to buy that book from one of our own. If you can maybe IG me a name of maybe, I think you guys are in Atlanta, right?
Correct.
I would like to spend my IOU notes with my own people.
Right on.
So if I could spend my fake paper with my own people, that would be really great. I've been getting my books for my own people for years. And I also would like to know when you guys are going to come back and do that live with Sister Nandy and everybody, so I can have my notebook and my notebook and my pen ready. And also, I really loved what Sister Nandy said yesterday about us starting to take the bull by the horns and actually, instead of buying the stock, we already are the stock with our skin. So why not put into ourselves, some of us are in fact gardeners. Some of us are, some of us do have the skills. I'm one of those people. So I really loved when she said that yesterday. So I really want to possibly have a continuation of, like I said, my thing is about moving forward, tools. Let's get this going. I've been on that page for a long time, and I'm so happy to find all of you, Sister Nandy, Black Sun, and everyone that have come together, Yanga and everyone, so that we can start putting these tools, come up with the tools, first of all, and starting to work on that garden, you know what I'm saying? And I thought of something that we should all be growing that can earn us like $500 a pop, and it's a certain type of mushrooms and stuff like that they go out there in the woods and get, and then they grab some, grow it in their house, and they're making $500-800 a pop. We're not doing stuff like that now, are we?
No.
Yeah.
So that's the page I'm on.
That's what's up, because when you were talking about, something we could grow to get some money, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's legal. It's legal. It's legal.
Right. And plus, mushrooms are tough.
I got you. Joking.
Yeah, mushrooms are tough too. They're tough.
Where I'm at, that's legal too. where I'm at. So
Okay.
But okay.
Indeed.
So thank you, and thank you to I don't yeah, thank you. I don't know if you guys had another woman up there today. I know Sister Nandy came up there.
Seduction
but thank
doll.
you to yes, Seduction Doll. Thank
Mhm.
you so very much for coming up there. I appreciate you, and thank you to the women that came on Sister Nandy's panel earlier today. I really I think that was early today. I'm like getting kind of confused with all my lives and my phone falling out on me and all this stuff. But no, actually that was the day before yesterday, wasn't it? Day before yesterday.
Yes, it was. I believe.
Yes.
So thank you very much to everyone for voicing their opinion. And again, that question still is out there. You know, Malcolm X had that hundreds of millions strong. That's where we need to be. And
Yeah,
we don't have hundreds of millions on this one piece of land. We don't. It will, in fact, take what it took to get us in this, to get us back out of it. I keep saying that. You guys have a blessed evening. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Sunshine. And thank you for being down, man, and being a rider. That's what's up. You know, I can always look up and count on that. So that's cool. Son.
Yo.
We did it again.
Again, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Again, brother.
We just need some consistency, and we got it, brother. You got it.
Hey, man, we're going to mess around and let me mess around and find out how to start doing all this little stuff. You guys hold tight. When I find out how to start putting slides and stuff up here, man, it is just,
oh yeah.
There's a world that Son and I want to introduce you to that it's, I'm excited. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with me, you know, just riding this one out like we do. Look for us to come back, subscribe and hit that like button. Check us out. You know, if you don't see me here, because I'm on periodically, you know, you can find me at Queen Nandy's camp doing what we do. You understand? Bringing that heat, but it will be some consistency. Look, go over there, subscribe, like, hit the like. Check out SVDL. Check out the league. Check out the debates. And if you think you up on your shit, you like what you see, you want to jump in there and get in that mix, then man, listen, do that also.
Yeah.
So with that, man, I'm gonna leave everybody like I greet everybody. And that's all powers to oppressed people, African power to an African people, and Black power.
Black power, brother.